So last month, we organized one industry roundtable discussion on impact of data privacy law on fintech sector. Okay, around 25 people joined from the fintech sector. And this is our second event where we are talking about the cyber crime. And the beauty of Navi sir's ideas, especially sir, cyber law is not a new topic in India, but I think he is really talking something serious, something relevant. That 65% of crime in our country is happening in specific 5 areas, 5 districts. 1,25,000 crore rupees cyber crimes are happening in that particular area, like Bharatpur, Nu, Mathura, Jamwada, and I think there's a one more. Okay, so sir is trying to make this argument before the policymakers that only if these 5 areas are contributing 65% of the crime, why can't we have a national policy? Because cyber crime is not anymore like in a, it's happening somewhere, it's happening everywhere. Okay, it's happening with anyone. So that's a point. With this hope, we are organizing this industry academia event where we'll talk about the cyber law, cyber crime, how to prevent them. And thanks to Navi sir, we have very good list of speakers from different background, like Professor Triveni Singh from the police, then a lot of people from industry and from academia. So my dear students, I think this is a great opportunity for you to learn the practical aspects of cyber law and cyber crime. Okay, I think this is very important. And I always believe that once you are trained, if you know what is cyber crime and how to prevent cyber crime, you can help people outside of the law school because you are the change maker. So with this ideology, we have created this collaboration, and thanks to Navi sir, I think so far it's going very well. We are going to have a very big industry program on data privacy law again and artificial intelligence law. So I think this collaboration is going very well, and we are trying to develop it. That's from the law school side, and I wish you good luck for this program.
Very much, Dr. Would like to take 2 minutes to introduce him. He's one of the best cyber security expert known in the industry. Professor Triveni Singh, who is currently post cyber crimes Uttar Pradesh. He holds PhD in financial cybercrime management and is a certified ethical hacker and computer forensic investigator. Normally, we find this kind of profiles in the corporate industry. Quite interesting to see that in the police and etc. We have good amount of people experience. He has served in different government departments, including jail, rural development, and has worked in different capacities in vigilance, economic offenses, etc. He is a resourceful person to many organizations such as CBI, NPA, ICAI, NCRB, State Judicial Academies, etc., and is a regular keynote speaker at various national and international forums, including FDPPI. He is one of the regular member for FDPPI, for many of our IDPS summit and so on. He has been honored with several distinctions. I don't think it will be, I will have time to really talk about, but very quickly to touch upon. He has got Lifetime Achievement Award by the Digital Investigators Association, conferred as honorary professor by Amit University. So we call him as Professor Triveni Singh. And he has got Uttar Pradesh Law Enforcement Award by Visa Security Summit, to name a few. And he has also authored many case studies in national and international journals, and is often quoted on cybercrime issues by several media houses. He is a co-author of the book called Hidden Files. You people should really go through it, which is based on the real cases of the cybercrime investigation, and runs a radio show on Red FM to spread cyber safety awareness. With this, I would like to really introduce, request Professor Triveni Singh to share his keynote address on this auspicious day. Give him a big hand. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Namaskar. Am I audible? Am I audible? Hello? Hello?
Professor, just
sound. You can hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Here on mute.
Okay, thank you. So the
Professor,
audience
here
is,
unmuted.
hello. Hello. So you can hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. So audience, basically they are students or police or when the faculty and senior corporate members. What is the composition of audience? Hello. Hello. Hello.
Professor, can I request you to unmute? We are not able to hear you here.
So my sound is not clear. Am I my sound audible?
No, we are able to hear you, sir.
Okay. So I mean,
As a
just
panelist, we
I
are able
wanted
to
to
hear
know
you.
a brief about the audience. They are the students only or from the corporate sector as well? Because then I will have to explain in that way. Hello. Hello. I think, hello. Is there any network problem? Hello. Navi ji. Hello. Can you hear me? आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
Sir, as a panelist, we are able to hear, but I am not sure about the students.
Sir, able to hear you now?
Sir,
Okay,
we are
so
able
I
to hear
want-
you.
So, okay. So let me start from the quantum of the cyber crime. So if I'm talking about the Uttar Pradesh Ceylon project, own state, Uttar Pradesh, the population in 3 years is more than 3 lakh cases. And if we talk about cyber, types of cyber crime, then 12 to 50% cases are related with social media platform, and 70%, more than 70% cases are related with financial fraud. And the rest of the crime is related with highly technical in nature, like crypto scam, DDoS attack, malware. These are the technical crimes. So it's only 5 to 10%. But let's focus on financial fraud. By various social engineering tricks, they are befooling the public and looting their money. Out of those major among those crimes are, somebody is cloning your ATM card, somebody can compromise your a credit card credential, they are compromising your banking credentials. Somebody is creating your biometric clone of your fingerprint, and then withdrawing money through AEPS, Aadhaar enabled payment system. They can withdraw 10,000 rupees per day. The fact is that those who are gullible, they are from the village area, they don't operate a mobile phone. So what is happening? From somewhere they try to manage to get their biometric print. They take the print out. There is a technology, you can go and Google. You can find out how they are creating the biometric photo print, and so you can just Google and you can find the way they are using certain special chemicals, gelatin and some special paper, and then they are creating your thumb impression. So 250 rupees, 500, you can get your duplicate thumbprint, and it is equally successful as your original one. So if you need to put your thumbprint, you can put the clone one and the duplicate one, and that is as good as the real one. So this is the fraud. Now, and banking side, 6 months earlier, we cracked a case here in Lucknow, in which 146 crore rupees were transferred from a bank of Lucknow to fraudsters. The criminals, 146 crore rupees. So they did not enter the bank. They did not talk with any senior officers there. Sitting outside bank, they are sitting somewhere in Mumbai and Delhi, and then operating the entire banking operation from there, remotely connected with the system. So when we investigated the case, we arrested 14 people. All of them were sent to jail. Number one, we recovered all 146 crore rupees. But the most surprising part is that the entire gang consisted of different group. Two of them were highly technical in nature, because they just to enter banking network, they needed some technology tools, like they had installed laptop in their intra network by compromising guards in the morning. So in the morning, they compromised the security man. They entered the campus. They installed a laptop. On laptop, they had remote access tool installed, and then they had connected this laptop to Vodafone network, because they had to get access to that laptop, and just to get the credential of the bankers, branch manager and assistant branch manager, because if you want to commit any transaction in bank, there is need of two credentials, maker and checker. So since they were not aware about the password, so they installed keylogger on all the banking system. So nobody knew it. Even the branch manager, assistant branch, they did not know it, that keylogger was there. They were accessing remotely. They were finding the user ID and password. Then they were operating the banking operation from outside the campus, and they transfer 146 crore rupees. So what is the lesson? Number one, they installed keylogger. Number two, physical intrusion. They installed their laptop in the same intranet network, and then keylogger, then remote access tool. Then they had managed to get some whitelisted IP, because it was the need. If you want to enter their intranet network, you can go only through whitelisted IP. So they compromised someone, they got the IP, they configured it in the laptop, and then they transferred the entire 146 crore rupees. मेरी आवाज आ रही है? मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
हाँ, बोलते रहिएगा, क्योंकि सन्नाटा है, हम समझ नहीं पा रहे हैं कि आवाज आ रही है कि नहीं. So this is now you can imagine how complex the cyber crime is getting day by day, and what skill set, what knowledge of tools and technology to commit the crime is required. So you can imagine, they are the cyber criminals, they are upgrading themselves in terms of knowledge, in terms of tools, in terms of technology, in terms of understanding the business process. Because to commit a banking operation, they should be fully, versed with banking process. Because there is need of maker and checker, there is need of whitelisted IP. You have to enter their intra network. So because they study it, first they do the recce, and seriously they study the business process. Then they try to find out the vulnerability. So what are the loopholes? What are the most vulnerable points where we can exploit and get into the system? And all over the world, cyber criminals, hackers, they are even looking for such vulnerability. They are studying your business process. They are finding out some gap, some loopholes, so as to exploit it later on for their own benefit. This is the perfect modus operandi of any cyber criminals. And most of them are using, social engineering tricks. They are making you friends on social media. They are communicating, on useless topics, or on topic of your interest, and then somehow they make friendship. Then they try to seek certain information related with your company and corporate or whatever, and then they compromise your access ID, your password, and they commit the crime. So social engineering tricks, in 90% of the cases, social engineering tricks are employed. And in 10% of the cases, they definitely they use some tools, special technology, and remotely, putting some malware, and I'm not talking about the ransomware attack and sophisticated DDoS and something what is happening nowadays on corporate sector. So these are the rare cases, but they are highly technical in nature. One thing I would like to emphasize here, that cyber criminals earlier, they used to be locally, connected with each other. Now they expanded at the national level. And what is happening right now is they are highly connected internationally. They have their different departments. Somebody is looking into finance. Somebody is looking into digital media marketing. Somebody is looking into these tools and techniques. Somebody is browsing dark web. They are getting data. Somebody is recruiting mules for bank accounts. Somebody is recruiting mules to get the SIM card. And the network, they are using VPN technology. They are using proxy. So they are very smart. So technical cadre is different, because ultimately they have to hide their own identity. They have to hide their own track just to save themselves from the police and law enforcement agency. But like the way corporate works, they are working in this style. There is a CEO. Then there are few intelligent and from human resource department, someone from finance department, someone from technology department, someone digital marketing being looked after by someone. Their entire team with a different role set. So this is the way now cyber criminals are committing the crime. Earlier, now let's talk about the hotspot. So earlier we used to listen that Jamtara, only Jamtara, there was a movie based on Jamtara. They started defrauding, they started befooling public by taking their OTP and compromising your wallet, payment bank credential, all that. So they were operating from the Jamtara. Now there are different pockets emerging all over India. Like a gang from Nu and Bharatpur and Mathura, it's a triangle, 15 to 20 villages, are involved, youngsters are involved, or they are into sextortion. They are committing fraud on DLS, on all e-commerce portal. They are into sextortion. They make you friend on social media platform. Then all of a sudden they start chatting in some romantic way, and one fine morning or night they make a video call. Once you receive a video call, what happens at the other end? The girl is completely naked. Through a screen capture tool, through a screen capture tool, they capture video recording for 1, 2, 3 minutes. Then by using deepfake tools, technology, what they do, they make a video for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and then they start blackmailing. Then they start blackmailing. What is the problem? My desktop is not working. Network of the entire office is there may be some interruption, sometimes. Abhi meri awaaz aa rahi hai? Hello?
Sir, we can hear you. The voice is a little wobbly, but we can hear you.
Sometimes I get a call, and during those times you cannot hear me. So the hot spots. And in all these states, few pockets, because it's a very low skill based modus operandi. You don't have to be technically very smart just to commit this kind of social engineering frauds happening from the social media and all that. For example, if I need to understand how I can befool the public through OLX platform. So the moment you advertise something to be sold on the OLX, they are looking for those items. Then they make a call to you. I am from the army. This is my ID card. This is my photo. But recently I'm transferred to Lucknow or somewhere else, and I wanted to purchase these goods, So can you share me your Google Pay account number? Once you share, because you have posted your, yeah, am I audible? Sun rahe hain awaaz?
Yes,
You're
sir.
Hello.
audible.
Go ahead.
You're audible, sir.
So once they give you ID card and photo and their details, you believe that it's a genuine one. This mine is from the army and defense, So they create a trust, and then they say that yes, price, I'm ready to pay. I urgently need it, so I'm paying you 100 rupees, 250 rupees, just to check whether our connectivity is clear or not, and then I will pay all the money. So first time they pay you 100 rupees, you see 100 rupees credited to your Google account, then 50 more. And then they say that my Google account is not working. So I'm sending you a QR code, and kindly I'm sending you the money through QR code, just you scan it. So there are two options in QR code. You can define the account amount, and then otherwise you can ask him to fit the rest of the amount. The moment you click QR code, the money gone from your account to them. Because once you are clicking a QR code, clicking QR code is not to give the money. It's always to receive the money. So this simple awareness can save you from such cyber criminals. But 99% people do not think seriously about QR code. That it is just for receiving the money, sending the money, not for receiving the money. And it's a simple trick, and thousands of people on daily basis getting victimized through this modus operandi. It's a simple in social engineering tricks. So you need to be aware about this is the modus operandi they are targeting. Sextortion, they make your video call pornographic, obscene. Sometimes they can superimpose some child pornography and all that. They threaten you in the name of CBI officer, in the name of police officer. If you're not paying this money through Bitcoin or something, then we are going to register. We are going to make it viral on YouTube and social media. Then you get afraid. What will happen? What my boy, my son and daughter will think? What my father, my senior officer will think? So just out of this fear, they start giving money. So this is thousands of cases, coming to our table. Sextortion cases is very rampant, and it's being operated from Jamtara and Nu and all that, So these are the crimes. Being students, you can think about data breach. Data breach is a serious issue. So if you are going to Delhi, Khan Market, and you should have a little connect, then you can find data related with every bank, every insurance industry, every college, university, everything. You can manage to get the real data. It's a huge underworld market. Just one connect. If you're ready to pay the premium, you will get all the confidential data related with. You are browsing the dark web, and you will find even your credit card details are there with clearly mentioned amount. What is the credit limit? So credit card data, debit card data. So, pornographic, child, you can purchase anything. You can purchase the services of ransomware operators. You can get your newly ransomware created. You can get your 0-day or 0-day payload created by the criminals. You can find even distributor. You can find mule accounts there on the dark web. You have to pay the money. That if 100 rupees will come into this account, 20 rupees will go to the account holder, and the rest of the 80% will come to me. So all kind of cybercrime services are available on dark web. And what to talk about the dark web? Even if you are a little bit connected with underworld, you can find all these services. So this is very serious. The cyber crimes is taking very serious nowadays. Technology is enabling our life. It's making our life easier, but it's complicating our life in a different way, Earlier, the criminals had to go physically. There were lots of apprehension and fear that they may be caught, then they will be beaten and all that. Now, sitting inside a 5-star room, 5-star, they travel by flights, they stay in 5-star hotel just with a laptop and few known technology like VPN and proxy and and they are committing all kinds of crime. Recently, there was a gang, who was they were operating from a single room flat, in POS area. Once I arrested the cyber criminals, he used to stay in 5-star hotel. One fine day he came to Lucknow. I got this info and then I raided the 5-star hotel. I arrested him. So what was his question? He was questioning me, sir, what is my offense? Do you have any complaint against me? Maneka, no complaint, but I will investigate it for this is the intelligence input I have got from somewhere. I have to verify, and that's why I have come here. So I'm taking you into custody. I'm taking you to the police station. I will further investigate. If there will be offense against you, then you will be sent to jail. Otherwise, you will be freed. Maneka, what? Just my one question. From which account you purchase your flight tickets? Number one. Number two, from which account you purchase this hotel room? You just tell me. Well, I'm using the Japanese debit credit card. So do you have your relatives? I asked, do you have your relatives there? You're known there? How do you know him? How you are using the credit card credential of someone else? And then I found that they are using, all the members of that group, they were using credit card, credential of African and the Japanese people, the Chinese people, because it's all, he showed me on the document, few website in open domain, open source domain. There were few websites he showed me. That is, see the data you can use. You can purchase anything, sir. No problem. Japanese, they are not coming. They will file their case register in Japan, Tokyo, not here in India. So why you are arresting me? And everyone is doing the same. So now you think, because there are some legal challenges, some technical challenges, because if I need information from Japan as a police officer, I have to go through lots of procedure. So it will take months. And the fact is that the cybercrime is happening in real time, in fraction of second. It's a matter of time only. All these metadata, financial data, KYC data, logs, all technical logs. If I am trying to seek it from overseas, it's very complicated to get. And unless and until you have those data, you cannot crack the case. That's why our law is evolving. First time in 2001, first debate was there on e-commerce and all that, on technology part of e-commerce in 1998. So when BPO entities, because overseas players, they were not trusting unless and until we had some IT Act. So in 2001, IT Act came into existence. Today itself, 17th, this is today, 17th October. So our IT Act came into existence. It became operative from today, 17th October 2001. Then there was need of some amendment. It was amended in 2008, and then few rules were framed in 2011, and now we are fighting for again. There should be some minor changes, because the technology is evolving. Because everything has gone digital, our personal life, our educational life, our commercial life, our services, our chat, whatever we are thinking, we have gone completely digital. So there should be some stringent law to punish the offender who are committing the cyber crime in cyberspace. So we need to have some cyberspace regulator, some stringent law. For example, if somebody has compromised your entire system, like there was an attack on AMS, It was a major attack on healthcare sector. And the attack was through ransomware. Ransomware. The ransomware, what is that? Malware. We talk about, it is just a contaminant. It's a virus infection, you know. So what is the punishment? 3 years. Say if somebody is putting malware into your system, and thereafter you can think what is he has broad is serious. So we need to have a robust, you know, robust legal framework, because a simple malware, there is no categorization of malware in our legal framework. Just contaminant, virus word is there. Virus may be cyber weapons. It's all code, payload, serious payload that can disable anything from air traffic to the military operation, that can disable. But that is, technically speaking, that is virus. So since technology is evolving, we must be thinking about evolving our legal framework also. And that's why I always suggest that there has to be some, you know, like we are having ISO 27001 to look into information security management system. If we're dealing with payment processing and all that, you have a standard PCI DSS. If we're dealing into some healthcare sector, then in foreign country we have HIPAA Act, then SOX Act, because they are talking about the governance and all that. That's why I always propose, I always say that we need to have a cyber crime management framework to deal with cyber crime cases in totality. Because unless and until you need the understand as a cop, as a police officer, unless and until I understand technology, tools, legal framework, not only statutes, not only Information Technology Act, but regulation by CERT, guidelines by NCIPC, the nodal agency which is looking into critical infra, the banking framework, you know, banking IT by REBIT, by RBI. So there should be a standard framework to deal with cyber crime, in which right from prevention, what is, as a police, what is my duty? My duty is to prevent, number one, and to detect and investigate the crime, and then maintenance of law and order, कानून व्यवस्था आपकी बनी रहे, ड्यूटी, एंड टू प्रिवेंट, रोक दूं क्राइम को, अगर नहीं रोक सका देन आई नीड टू डिटेक्ट इट, और डिटेक्शन के बाद देन इन्वेस्टिगेशन एंड देन प्रोसिक्यूशन. This is in between. There are so many things we need to do. For example, we have to think about new measures for protecting the critical infra. Then what will be my response strategy, and how to recover the data has gone, or the system collapsed, or the anything taken down, how to recover it. Then how to forensically recover the data, application of forensic science and all that. How to argue my case in court, which are the technical evidences, and whether I am producing these technical evidences in court in forensic manner, in legally admissible manner or not. These are the technical questions. Chunki aap log bacche ho, you are not very much exposed to this. So I always suggest that there should be some interface between police, corporate sector, academia, industry, students. They should come on a single platform. There are few students, they are very brilliant, they can think technically. There are few law graduates, under graduates, legally very brilliant. So just by creating a single platform, there should be some technogenius, there should be the legals, then the top cyber cops, then some regulator. They should come on a single platform, and they should discuss what is the way forward, how we can control the cyber crime. So this is overall. Otherwise, if we're talking about the police or judiciary or prosecutors, then I emphasize always on capacity building. It just keep on learning, because daily basis some change is happening in technology space. And as a police officer, as a lawyer, as a forensic professional, as a cyber security professional, you need to understand this nitty-gritty of the legal framework evolving and the technology space. This and जो बच्चे हैं इनको मैं always suggest just you study everything related with this cyber domain, technology, law, tools, malware, policing, search seizure, cyber intellectual property law. Now, DPDP Act 2023, Digital Personal Data Protection Act. You see the framework, 150 document. DPDP Act was how to implement it. For example, there should be a provision to delete the data from the database. There should be a facility to allow users or customer to look at their data. Then there should be a provision to monitor where my data is going from this system to other. So do we have cyber forensic tools or auditing that I have the right to be forgotten? भाई हमने आपको ये डेटा दिया, अब काम खत्म, now it's gone. हमारा डेटा वहां से खत्म करिए. So do you have this mechanism to delete a particular data, personally identifiable data from the system? So what is SPD, sensitive personal data? What is the difference between sensitive personal data and the personally identifiable information? So as a student, you need to think all this. What are the personally identifiable? What is my sensitive personal data? What are the punishment or the framework to deal with sensitive personal data? And how to go about my personal identifiers? What is DPDP Act? So there will be a data protection board, then the data protection officer, then there will be so many privacy compliance, then security compliance and all that. It's very technical. 200, 300 countermeasures. Major category, physical control, technical control, and administrative control. These are the major category. Out of this major category, there are thousands of countermeasures. आप सोचो इस पे पढ़ो लिखो. There is a forensic. Without forensic, you cannot fight any case in court. Forensic is very important. It's emerging domain. अगर कोई लड़का forensic में आना चाहता, cyber forensic, I'm talking about cyber forensic. It's a complete or different science, and you have good opportunity. Job, they are the highest paid people. If you are working as an ethical hacker or BAPT experts, and you are going into the e-discovery or GRC domain, governance, risk, and compliance. So you are the most highest paid employee in your corporate. बशर्ते की शर्त यह है कि you have the knowledge, complete knowledge, practical exposure, hands-on skill, hands-on. कि अगर मैं कहूँ कि भाई इसमें find out, just try to find out whether this system is infected with some malware or not. So if you have that skill to find out, here sir, ये file है, this is malware infected, your system is compromised now. मैं कहूँ कि ये IS audit करो, बताओ what are the gaps. So do you have this skill set to audit the entire network? If yes, then you will be paid. If not, theoretical knowledge. Okay, I'm a CISSP. I have done a course in CISA, and I'm CH and CHFI. I'm a qualified ethical hacker and qualified forensic investigator. No. Not theoretical. We need someone who is hands-on, So that's why I always said there should be an interactive, like as they started a campaign, and privacy Europe to emerge as the most hot domain और उसमें privacy, because privacy is related with law, privacy will be related with some procedures, then technology tools, then up to 250 crore rupees fine, then there will be need of cyber lawyer, because 250 crore, if for saving someone from paying 250 crore rupees, you can imagine your fees. So this is the most hottest sector, privacy domain. So there are so many organizations like DSI, like Navi himself from his own organization. He always, conducts several, courses, not courses, but they are doing a lot in privacy domain. So this is all from me, because tomorrow we are having the biggest cyber event, cyber conference, in which top officer from MHA, I4C, and from different states they are coming. We are going to discuss what's the way forward, how to deal with the cyber criminal. I try to manage. So it's all from me. Any question? 1, 2.
Any questions, anybody?
Hello. So may I leave? May I leave now?
Any questions, anybody?
Hello. मेरी आवाज आ रही थी जब मैं बोला, तो मेरी आवाज आई कुछ?
Hi, thank you, Professor Triveni Singh ji. I am Professor Avinash, Director of
Thank you.
Manipal Law School. So thank you very much, sir, for your very nice informative lecture. So, sir, as you know that most of the crimes are happening in the UP or maybe near the UP border, like Mathura, and definitely Bharatpur is not very far from Mathura. So what UP government or UP police is taking, are they creating any special initiative, or like, because I was in Mathura earlier, and if you see the situation of Mathura cyber cell, there is only one inspector posted there with 2 only constables, or maybe very limited people. So still, are we handling at the district level or at the central level, in the Lucknow level, you people are handling the specific zones like the Mathura?
So very good question. Now SSP Mathura is coming tomorrow. We have to discuss in detail something, but let me talk about what initiative we have taken in UP. We have created a cyber headquarters where 3 superintendent police they are posted, 1 DIG posted, 1 special DG posted. Now currently we are having 18 cybercrime police station, dedicated cybercrime police, where cases, in which fraudulent amount is more than 5 lakh rupees, those are investigated, and those cases which are referred by us because of being highly technical in nature. Third, 20,000 policemen are being trained on SciTrain. SciTrain is a MOOC portal, training portal created by NCRB. So 20,000 police officers are regularly getting trained or certified. Then we have cyber help desk in each police station, 1,530 police station, 50, and we are regularly training them. We have started massive awareness campaign among the public. Nukkad, Natak, seminar, conference. Everyone is going and making them aware with the latest modus operandi being adopted by the criminals. So these are currently, we are taking so many initiatives. And the part of that initiative is that tomorrow, the top police officers from Rajasthan, Haryana, MHA, they are all coming here. They are all coming here to discuss in detail how to go ahead. Anything more? So may I leave? I'm running around out of something very important we need to do. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And the need for a legal framework and stricter regulatory controls. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining us today and your valuable inputs. With that, we move on to the next session on this Digital Society Day Roundtable, Jago Regulators Jago, jointly organized by FDBPI and Manipal Law School. Our next panel discussion is growing risk of cybercrime fiefdoms, and the moderator is Navi Jaishankar, Navi, Chairman of FDBPI. May I briefly introduce the panelists? Navi is a pioneer in cyber law and data protection in India. An ex-banker with wide experience in marketing, merchant banking, information security, and he is a founder of Cyber Law College. He is an author of many books and a thought leader with innovative concepts such as the Personal Data Protection Standard of India, Online Data Trust Score, Self-Evaluation Tool, etc. He was instrumental in some landmark judgments, the first conviction and the first adjudication under ITA 2000. He's a sought-after trainer, speaker, and he's a wonderful mentor. We have our, welcome Navi sir. We have our next panelist, Dr. Avinash Dadich of Manipal Law School, Director of Manipal Law School. Professor Dadich has a rich academic and industry experience with specialization in competition law and regulation of AI, robotics, governance of internet data privacy. He has completed his PhD from United Kingdom. He has held the position of dean in various prestigious universities and worked in consultancies like Deloitte and EY. He is a visiting faculty at various prestigious colleges in India and abroad, and attended and presented papers in all renowned international forums. Thank you for joining, Dr. Dadich. We have Mr. Balu Swaminathan, known as Cyber Balu, who is a former additional SP of police. Mr. Balu has 35 years of experience in law enforcement, including 6 years in cybercrime cell of Tamil Nadu. He has investigated a number of cases in hacking, phishing, online cheating, with paved way for some landmark judgments also. He has received many awards, including India Cyber Corp Award by NASCOM, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister's Medal in 2005, for excellence in cybercrime investigation, and President of India Police Medal for meritorious service in 2009. We have a few more speakers. Okay. We also have Dr. Mallikarjuna, Principal of Kelly Society's Law College, Bangalore. He's a principal of KLE Society Law College. He has delivered several guest lectures at various colleges, including National Law School of India, University, Bangalore. He has participated and presented several papers on law topics at various national and international conferences, symposiums, seminars, etc. He has published several articles in various reputed journals like Indian Bar Review, Cochin University Law Review, etc. Now we have 3 more speakers who have joined virtually. We have Dr. Anand Prabhu, who is a cybersecurity expert, is an author, TV host, trainer, and a motivational speaker. He serves as a professor and principal investigator at the Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity Excellence Center at Sahyadri College. He's a trainer for Karnataka Judicial Academy, Karnataka Police Academy, and has conducted numerous cyber safety workshops. We have Mr. Anil Rashamala. He is a digital well-being expert. He's the founder and CEO of EndNow Foundation. He's an enterprise consulting expert by profession and digital well-being enthusiast by passion. Founded this foundation to advocate for digital safety, ethics, and well-being. Mr. Anil is a renowned speaker and writer, and he has conducted multiple radio shows, He has delivered over 1,000 talks and writes in weekly newspaper columns. And we have Dr. Divya Develapalli. She is a psychiatrist and a speaker. She's a behavioral expert with over 14 years of experience. She's a member of the Royal College of Psychiatrists. She's a non-speaker and closely associated with NGOs working towards promoting digital well-being. Thank you all for joining. Over to you, Navi, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, friends, and all the people who are there on the virtual place. I'm very happy to meet you all on this very important day. The day 23 years back, 88-2000 was passed, and with that, the legal recognition for electronic documents started on that day. Prior to that, there was no legal recognition for electronic documents. From this day in 2000, there was legal recognition for electronic documents, electronic signature. Therefore, there was electronic contract. Plus, cyber crimes were defined. That's why since then, at navi.org, I have been trying to say that we will remember this day each year and call this as a Digital Society Day. In fact, Mr. Mallikarjunaya is here. We have had a number of programs on this cyber laws. Way back in 2008, we had a very grand function in Kelly Law College. So since then, year by year, we are trying to do something useful in this particular on this particular day. Now, of course, we have Dr. Avinash, with whom we have been working for FDPPI, and whatever I did 20 years back with Mallikarjun, we have to repeat with what with Dr. Avinash. I'm very happy that both of them are here today. In fact, I told Dr. Mallikarjuna that I will be very much disappointed if he doesn't come today, because way back in 2005, at that time, he was the first person to take cyber law education into the law colleges. So our first program on cyber law certification was done in his institute at Bangalore. That gave rise to a lot of further activities in the particular area. 2006 itself, we had a privacy conference at that time. Now that act has come now when we are restarting our activity. So I'm very happy. Balu is on charge of cybercrime police station in Chennai, and the first cases of cybercrime we have handled together. He was the IO in charge of that. I was like a consultant, forensic person, whatever you call it. We did our own kind of investigations and brought in the first conviction of under Information Technology Act. So he has got a lot of achievements to his credit, and I'm happy that he has traveled all the way from Madras to be here on this day. I should personally thank him. So with them, plus Dr. Anantaprabhu, whom I appreciate very much because of his outstanding, say, educational work he has been doing in cybercrime in Karnataka, in Kannada. I cannot speak as fluently as he can speak in Kannada and explain cybercrime. So he is a person who has been doing human service to this cybercrime area. So I'm very happy that he is here. Anil, we had met him recently on certain Jnanavardhini sessions. So he is here. Dr. Divya, we hope we will be getting a lot of insights from her. So we have got a very good panel. This particular discussion was actually triggered by the alarm which was created by the fact that 80% of cyber crimes are happening in 10 districts in India. When you say cyber crime in India, it is equivalent to around 2.5 lakh crores. That is the value of cyber crime. So we are talking of about 1.5 lakh crores of rupees going out from various places into these 10 different cities like Bharatpur, Mathura, or Nu, or something like that. In fact, 4 or 5 of these cities garner 60% of the cyber crime. I was aghast to say, how is it that we can allow such places to exist. We should carpet bomb those sites and destroy cybercrime. If this was any other kind of crime, actually the military should have been deployed to to control this kind of a cybercrime. There was an incident recently where police were chased off by the villagers who wanted to arrest some cybercrime people. So we are into a very, very dangerous situation where certain physical pockets of India are being taken over by the cyber criminals. And that is what we need to recognize now, that it is not a question of some cyber crimes happening in banking and other things. The villages, as he was telling, the whole villages, 11 villages are developing into a hub of cyber crime. There are training schools there. I mean, people don't go to colleges, they go to cyber crime schools actually. And there are companies which run call centers and employ people like engineers and pay them salary to make phishing calls. How is it possible? It's a very, very disappointing state of affairs. So I felt that we need to focus on this development and also look at what kind of solutions can be found in that scenario. That is the reason why we had this as a session. We call this as Jago Regulators Jago because we have been doing a lot of awareness to people, students and others. Now, who will wake up the regulators who are allowing these villages to develop as cybercrime hubs? Who will awaken the adjudicators and others who are all regulators to start doing something? Now, Dr. Triveni Singh said so many things, but tomorrow he said there is a major conference. I hope something they will do. Otherwise, we have been talking about it for years together. That's why we called it as Jago Regulators Jago. Recently, I also came across a situation where when a cybercrime was reported to CERTIN, which I thought it is equivalent to a cyber terrorism, CERTIN did not do anything. So I'm worried that if regulators show forbearance to criminals, it is an encouragement to crime. In fact, in the famous Umashankar versus ICICI Bank case, the TD SAT actually said that not having adequate security is a passive assistance to commit crime. Likewise, if regulators are not doing enough to take steps which under law they are supposed to take, I feel they are giving passive assistance to crime. Maybe some of the regulators don't like this statement, but I am saying that the regulators not taking action are assisting in the commission of the crime. When a police station does not register an FIR, we are angry about that particular police inspector. But when CERTIN does not do it or somebody else higher up doesn't do it, there is nobody who is asking them. I think that is what we have started doing in this particular day. And I have a few questions which I would like to discuss with our panel members and take their views. And let us see how much of say knowledge we can all gather. I think to start with, I would like to, Mr. Dr. Anant Prabhu is also there, and Dr. Divya, I will come to you at the appropriate time, and Anil. Now, first thing is, we are talking of sophisticated cyber crimes, but in these dark villages, I don't know, I call this as dark villages, like the dark web on the website, we have these pockets. I don't know how they are able to develop the technological skills. Say you take a phishing call. A person who makes a phishing call is an expert communicator. I and you will not be as good as them in terms of sales. Where from they are getting this kind of skills? Okay, I would like maybe Dr. Mallikarjunaya to give his thoughts. How is that villagers are picking up this kind of skills? Who is teaching them?
Well,
Good evening, all members on the dais, off the dais, and on the screen. At the outset, I may take a couple of minutes, sir, before I come to the question.
Yeah.
I'm for the first time in MLS. All of us are aware that the terrain the legal education traveled was very difficult and very haphazard, not organized at all. And the terrain legal education journey traveling today is so fantastic, and that is evidenced by the infrastructure and academic ambience that is put up in MLS. Congratulations to you. And greetings to you. I must say this, greetings to you on the occasion of Digital Day, Digital Society Day, the concept which was coined 23 years ago by Navi sir. Congratulations to you and greetings to all of you. Well, it's a very difficult thing for any of us to understand. All that I can tell you as a lawyer and as a law professor is that we were studying why crimes happen. What are the causes for criminal behavior? Is that poverty? Is that hereditary? Is that looks of the person? And the things like that. We were listing out why one commits cause. Fortunately, I think thankfully to the globalization, which gave employment opportunities for everyone. And the second aspect that came in to make our lives better, thereby we could say goodbye almost to the conventional or classical kinds of crimes. But, the technology, information technology, of course, we are all aware that every technology came with its side effect. As the question is posed to me, I was also thinking for a long time, this is one technology everybody cannot make use or everybody cannot make abuse of it. And now we have come to discuss how has it become possible for almost an uneducated, almost who doesn't have superb technical education. How is that the threat is posed to us? And how is that the white collar crimes could occupy the place of erstwhile crimes and cause the same problem and rather create more and more problem of crime prevention? Well, I really do not have a very quick and straight answer to the question, sir. As we all know, in crime investigation, as law teachers in crime investigation, even the police officers too believe in one thing. However smart are the criminals, it's so natural that they would have left one thread open. That thread will allow crime investigators to follow and detect the crime. What I mean to say is that it is only one thread always, which is figured out with utmost difficulty by the investigating officers. That, of course, I don't know, should I say seldom or often, helped the police officers. The point to be driven home with this and what I want to, the analogy I would like to bring in is that straight answer according to me is that criminals, regardless of their education, culture, are smart. And that smartness, historically speaking, did help them to pick up any skill, any trick that was required. Probably that element of, that feature of criminals or the people who do crimes must have compelled them to, must have rather made them successful in figuring out. And I don't know, is it a natural corollary to say it's not the formal education, it's the urge to do something that lets you pick things, however big or great they are. This is what my response to this aspect is. I don't know how far I did make my point. This is what I feel
No.
about it.
Thank you. You highlighted the motivation to be a successful criminal as one of the things, which is not necessarily because of formal education. Dr. Anantaprabhu, who is also a engineering professor, if I don't know correctly, should actually highlight this thought process, that whether it is the formal education which is creating criminals or a hacking urge kind of a thing. Can you just give your thoughts on the development of these cybercrime hubs? Yeah.
The very onset, a warm welcome to all
You are
of
on
you.
mute.
No, I'm not on mute.
You are on mute. You are on mute.
Am I not audible?
We are.
Just a second. Just a second. Yeah.
Am I audible to all of you?
Yes.
Okay. On the very onset, a very warm welcome to all of you, and my hats off to Navi sir for organizing better and better events with every year. Now, coming to the point straight on, I would like to mention that what one studies in an engineering college has nothing to do with what one actually does when it comes to hacking, because hacking is not taught anywhere, number one. And second, there are two types of hackers. One, we call them as script kiddies, and the other one, the real hackers. Now, these people whom you see, they're all script kiddies. They pretend to be hackers. What they do is, readily available tools are there. They buy them. They have a fantastic network of all such people. And there are these hackers who sell their tools to them. They buy those tools and they very happily, they attack these innocent people. Simple example. All these days, I've seen people, all these big billion and trillion and all these sales that are going on. So I've seen people, they're waiting to see which website is giving them products for very less. And these cyber criminals have got a tool wherein we call this as a drive-by download approach. So all they need to do is send one link to an innocent user, and the 95%, I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of people watching this program here, especially the students. Please raise your hands in case if your phone has got a paid antivirus. And I'm sure that 95% of your phones do not have a paid antivirus. Maybe 2 or 3% would have a antivirus which is not paid. But anyways, so this drive-by downloads, how it works is, all you need to do is just click on a link. Without your knowledge, one file gets downloaded to your phone or your laptop, and then your front camera, your rear camera, your contents, everything, they get it. Okay. Now the point here is, do you think that this tool has been developed and coded by those people in those villages that we see? No, they're only trained how to use them. Similarly, like somebody taking a gun and shooting, he has not manufactured that gun nor the bullets, but he only knows how to pull the trigger and how to make sure that the guy in the front is killed.
Terms of technology, know that there is even crime as a service. Okay. Now, is it right for the society to allow crime as a service to exist on internet? Or if we observe something like that, that is the first website to be stopped. What do you say about this crime as a service which is proliferating up, like what Ananta Prabhu was saying? Yeah. Yeah, Anil.
Asking me, is it? Okay, I'm sorry. Is it audible? I'm audible.
As a service.
Am I audible? Am I audible? At least to the panelists? Hello.
You are audible. Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, I'm audible to the panelist. I'm not sure. Okay. Thank you so much, for inviting me. It's a wonderful gathering, a lot of learned people sitting here. I slightly speak like a social activist because I've been working for on the digital rights. I probably would have written 500 plus weekly articles and traveled to all the places that Triveni has spoken about. See, the basic thing that I would like to speak about is crime as a service. You'll be surprised to know that there is a course which runs in most of the capital cities. They charge you around about 60,000 rupees with a guaranteed job. They'll teach you how to do payloads. They'll teach you how to run pull the malwares and do how to do social engineering crimes. It's a guaranteed course. So as Mr. Anant Prabhu spoke about, it's not the scripters and the hackers, but these people are mostly who are 10th and less than 10th class graduates. They are taught how to do social engineering crimes. And if you look at the crimes that are happening, 86% of the crimes are all completely social engineering crimes. They never go up to the level of hacking or putting payloads or malware. The basic thing here is that there are a lot of vulnerabilities within the technology. People are not aware of in terms of cyber security awareness. There's no motivation for them. For example, if you see the whole cosmos is there on the smartphone, the moment you open up, and everything can be done, but there's no formal guidance. And social media expressions, you can talk to 1 billion or billions of people in straightforward, but there's no formal education. I think there is nothing called digital well-being or any awareness that is being done. And also other thing is that there's a lot of anonymity, and the global reach is something which is causing. And definitely the other one is the economic factors. And of course, there are a lot of technological advancements also happening around. But on a overall, is that there is a lot of, let's forget about ransomware, DDoS, malware as service, carding as hacking, money laundering. All these are slightly advanced. But most of the social engineering crimes do not need any of this. I think you can watch Netflix Jamta series. You will know how below 10th class pass person sitting under a tree is siphoning at least 1 crore rupees per day. So I think I would like to also point out that the law enforcement side and the judicial system is not that ready. I'll tell you a use case which I've experienced. In 28/12/20, we applied a appeal on Supreme Court for other loan apps. I had 3 prayers in that. I put up more than 29 death cases, death reports I put, official reports, and 37 FIRs were attached to it. I had 3 prayers in that bill. One is RBI. Why did RBI allow third party to apply? Allow the third party applications to be, for the loans to be given. And the second prayer was that why did DOT allow many number of SIM cards to be issued to anybody? And the third prayer was why did Aadhaar allow to get my data again verified from unscrupulous agents? So these are 3 prayers that we had. Of course, the Supreme Court said we have to file 3 prayers separately and all. And today I'm thinking there is at least more than 1,000 plus people who already died. And every week I see in newspaper, in my vernacular language, every week I see at least 2 or 3 people die. The solution is that we are not in line with what the industry wants. If you look at the Personal Data Protection Bill, we are world's largest democratic country. But we got it when? Very recently. Of course, it's a good initiative. We are still in the initial stages. The Digital Media Ethics Code is very, very weak. If you look at the Consumer Protection Act, it is also kind of very, very weak. I think judicial system, law enforcement people do not have that power to actually influence and catch. I'll tell you another small example of how e-commerce frauds happens, just to tell you the level of complexity of the fraud. I can advertise, let's say Ananta Prabhu sir has advertised a bullet to be sold. I will irritate him and tell him that he was not Ananta Prabhu. Then he'll start giving his Aadhaar card, PAN card, all details of his bike. Then what I'll do is I'll create another profile in OLX saying that I am Ananta Prabhu and post all the information that is given. So I'll start collecting money from everybody. When police try to arrest, because the money is being transferred to somebody, because I have already cheated somebody in the pretext of giving a job. I collect his phone in the pretext of offering an interview for him and a bank account in the pretext of trying to collect the first month salary from him. So who is here? The victim is different, culprit is different. So there are a lot of change that police have to go. It's not so easy for the cybercrime police to catch thief. So all these factors are motivating. And of course, there's a lot of money. There's a financial gain, so they want to do it. I'm not able to hear you.
Engineering as one of the main causes. Why do you think that people are getting, say, induced to give away the OTPs and do things which a rational person in the normal circumstance would not do? And because we are saying when we create awareness, everything, all problems will go away. But I don't think awareness alone will go away, because in the cybercrime victims, OTP kind of frauds, we have got engineers, we have got professors, we have got police officers, all educated persons who are supposed to know about cyber crimes. They also give away their OTPs and other things. So what is the trick which makes people become vulnerable to giving away the information? That is one. Secondly, when we are having this new technology like virtual reality and that kind of a thing, are we making things more difficult for the law enforcement because more frauds can happen? What is your view on how human mind can be manipulated by these cyber criminals? Dr. Divya.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Those are very relevant and interesting questions. So I think whenever we think of a crime, we miss the emotional aspect of it. It's not just physical, but it's also an emotional crime, especially when it comes to cyber crimes. So I think most cyber criminals operate on two emotions. One is fear, and the second one is greed. So a lot of police officer, the gentleman who spoke before, Sir Triveni sir, has said that people get into what is called a honey trap, sharing pictures. So that's a greed for love. And then people get into trouble. Or there could be greed for money. A lot of educated people, like you pointed out rightly, they're educated, they know everything. And yet when that emotion of greed overpowers them, they are not thinking rationally. They're only thinking of the benefits that they will reap if they go through with this scheme. They're not thinking rationally, because we all know that when emotions are taking control of our mind, then our rational mind is not working properly. And the second thing I feel is fear. Fear is actually an even more potent emotion, because maybe all of us are not very greedy, but all of us are definitely scared. And a lot of the cyber crimes that I've heard about use fear very well with educated people. So very recently in my state, a very famous singer posted about how she was a victim of a FedEx scam. And she said, I know so many educated people who are victims of this FedEx scam, where they call you and then they pretend that your name is linked to some suspicious FedEx parcel which contains drugs, fake passports, etc., etc. So they make you go into this panic mode. And once you are in panic mode, that is when they employ the second strategy. So the second strategy is to create the danger and also be the savior for the victim. So I've personally spoken to two people who came to me for counseling, and then I realized that this is where it gets tricky for them, because they have created the danger, but then they're also offering a way out of it. They have also positioned themselves as a survivor. Now, when you think it is an authority figure, like a policeman or somebody from the customs office or a bank officer, we are naturally trained in society to obey these people. Normal citizens obey people who are in authority. And now they use the second trick. They use their authority to create confidence, and they make these people feel obedient to them. So whatever they ask. So my client has shared all her bank account details, transferred money, all her personal details, and she couldn't believe it. Like, once the call was cut, once she had just 1 minute to calm down, for her emotions to come back to normal and think about it with a rational brain, she could easily realize that this is a scam. So I think what is the trick is to take that time, to not panic, but to take about a minute or 30 seconds when you get such a call to think, okay, let me just pause. I know I'm feeling scared. Let me just pause and think, what is the possibility? What is the consequence of these actions? And I think that is where awareness comes into play. If a policeman tells me that it's okay if your name is linked to some other suspicious parcel, there is a way to clear it out. There is no need to panic about it. I think that awareness helps. Otherwise, the second we get a call from a policeman, we panic and then we do whatever they ask us to do. If you ask me, I think those are the main strategies, how even an educated person who is aware is getting caught in these traps. First is either they are greedy or they are scared. And then once they are in panic mode, the fisher acts like an authority figure and he makes you obedient to whatever they're asking you to do. So people blindly follow through without really thinking about what they're doing.
I would like to add to what Dr. Divya has spoken. We've been working for a long time together. So trust is there, ignorance is there, fear is there, greed is there, moral duty, urgency, and panic. They kind of do so great social engineering. Actually, on 19th, there is Bangla Bandhu International Cybersecurity Awareness Award, which has been sponsored by UNDP. There's a $10,000 prize to it. So I was nominated to it. So the moment I finished the call, in less than fraction of 3 or 4 minutes, I got a call that I have been awarded and I need to pay $1,000 in advance. So look at the way how things are going. I just finished the call in 3 or 4 minutes. I got a call that I've been nominated. So that is the level of reach of these people, the data they collect. So these are social engineering, purely social engineering. And I and myself and Sanpreet, there's an IPS officer who did a research and submitted a paper to BPRD, where we found that 89% of the people are all graduates. In that, 67 people are corporates. And each of these people have fallen to frauds not below 20 lakh rupees, marriage fraud, extortion fraud, Kaun Banega Crorepati fraud, Snapdeal frauds. I can keep on talking about all these frauds. So all these are basically from all this, even the task-based frauds right now, work from home are coming. In Google customer care, all these frauds, only corporate people who are highly educated fall to it.
Able to talk to you for an hour with each of you, but I don't think we will be able to do that. But anyway, Dr. Anantaprabhu, I want him back because he has got a limited time at his disposal. Now, I want Dr. Anantaprabhu to comment on how technology can also find solutions to some of the emotional problems which Dr. Divya particularly raised. Is there any way that we can provide psychological games or awareness through so we have many apps like increase your memory, increase your brain power, increase your ability or propensity to prevent cyber crimes. I would like some apps to come like that. Now, is it possible for technology to help us develop the personality of people and an ability to not to get hoodwinked by these criminals? What is your take on that?
Yeah, it's a very important suggestion that you have given, sir. Definitely, it is possible. We have done our humble efforts in this by coming out with a book which is called as Cyber Safe Girl. And this week we will be launching the version 6 of it, which has got 60 different cyber crimes. And in terms of info tools, which will help everybody to understand where people fall prey and what are those things that they can do in order to stay safe and stay secure. When we started it, it was just 15 cyber crimes way back in 2017. And now we are having about 60 different cyber crimes. But as you have rightly said, if this can be gamified, gamification always has more impact, because there are 4 different types of people in every classroom. Say a visual student, an auditory student, a kinesthetic student, as well as a one who can read and write. So because there are 4 different learning styles, Anything that is gamified will make them better understand it. And at that time where it's a do or die, or at the time where they're going to take that very critical decision, I'm 100% sure that this gamification will ring one bell in their heads, which will tell them, stop, this is not right that you're doing. Instead of stop, it's more like a pause, wait for some time, and then do it. Point number one. And second, I'm very happy to say that apps like Truecaller and many other apps, they have now started issuing warnings. Even in that matter, Google Pay also, whenever you're going to do a transaction which is of a higher limit, it always tells you, are you sure that you want to do so? A second line of questioning comes into effect over here. So we have seen when this type of a warning comes, people will, once they'll get alert, they will be like, should I really be doing this? And then probably they may ask a friend, and there is 1930. They can ask anybody, and then they can take a call whether actually to go ahead or not. So gamification, as you have rightly said, is the key to make sure that people are made aware during those adversarial times, because we are all trained to deal when we are in the safe harbor, when everything is fine, when the water is still. But during the rough seas, that is what makes a skilled sailor. So similarly, only when they're made to train through these adversaries, I think one can actually stay safe and browse the internet responsibly and understand the perils of the digital world.
Prabhu has said, true, gamification has the tremendous effect of putting aside the problem that we are facing. But I'm reminded of what you said almost 15 years ago. For the ill effects of technology alone cannot be the solution. It is the techno-legal security that we should look for, is one thing I am reminded of. The other thing which I am immediately reminded of is that it's too much of expectation from the users of IT or technology, whatever. And the movement that you have begun, that is Jago Regulators Jago, should be the ultimate answer. It is the panacea for all the menace is what I believe. Gone are the days when we were talking about caveat emptor. It is the vendetta. Now the other side has to be. Similarly, the regulators have to be more more alert and taking the responsibility forward. In continuation of what Dr. Anant and Dr. Deva were speaking, I am also aware, I'm sure you must be knowing this too, a lot of us who are very well educated, know technology well, in better positions, all of us have burnt our hands, and we are all the victims at one or other point of time. The reasons, obviously, as Madam suggested, it's fear or greed, and a few more aspects can be added to it. If I can take a couple of minutes, I can share 2 instances where I was the victim. Without any hesitation, I can share that. Once I was attending a conference at Delhi at this time. It was a all-day conference. Next day, I was one message was supposed to come. Message did not come. Immediately, I started searching online. Hello? Yeah. Hope you heard what I was telling. Well, the first search result itself is so fantastic, and chopper services are available. I can do it online. I thought, why am I asking? I just gave a call and the person. The battery is down. It's going off. Okay. I just try to narrate how what makes us to go astray and remain irrational in our thinking, as Madam Deva suggested. This fellow started calling me back again and again. He's assisting me so well. Will anyone assist us so well in such situations? That did not strike to me. It was urgency. My conference was going up to 6 p.m. I was supposed to catch a train from Delhi to Katra. I was in hurry. He understood the situation, I believe, and he asked me to make some payments. I said, he did ask me to send the money to bank. I said, this is not a time to add beneficiaries, send to bank, etc. He guided me so well. Probably technologically, I was also sound. I could take his guidance. I could understand payment directly to the bank through the phone pay, which I was not knowing. He guided me so well, and I did it. Then he asked me after 6,000, 3,000 rupees of insurance. What insurance? He said insurance will come back. Look at a law professor. Will any insurance ever come back? Like an idiot, I believe. And I transferred it to him, anyway, it will come back. Then comes the call, oh, the 6,000 rupees that you have made has not come, 3,000 has come. Sometimes it happens, the bank will revert it to you, you send it once again. Don't read me wrong. I understand that situation was really idiotic. That urgency made me to send money again. That was how I was absolutely trapped. It was at 6 a.m. in the morning. I get down at Katra. My students come to me. I show this ticket to them. It is a PDF ticket, seemingly perfect, but it was duplicate one. Of course, that was how I was fooled. And the next thing, quickly, I'll tell you, sir. Other day, I got a call from Mumbai, reportedly. Somebody said, we're from FedEx. The fellow gives me FedEx employee ID. He tells me, what was the last time we visited Mumbai? I said, what the date is. Did you stay in a hotel? Yes, I did. Did they collect ID proof? Yes, they did. There is one parcel that is going to Dubai or somewhere where your ID is connected. Your what is it? Other card details are given. You're going to be in a soup. Look at it, sir. You may not have heard. What he's saying is, I will transfer the call to cybersecurity cell. Is what he's saying so beautifully. Who will not say no? If you want to talk to cybersecurity cell and take assistance from cybersecurity cell, who will say no? Somehow it was fishy. He's telling me what were the contents and so on. Then, of course, one thing that stopped him from pursuing is, I said, my student is a cybersecurity cell inspector here. I'll talk to him, come next. From then the call stopped. What I mean to say with these illustrations is, regardless of our education and sanity, we tend to lose it because of various reasons. So expecting all of us to be out of this greed, fear, urgency, and insanity propelled by these things is difficult. Hence, according to me, once again, Jago Regulators Jago is the answer. Thank you.
I think I agree with Professor, because if you see the psychology of law and punishment, like for example, take an example that we use locks in our home because we know that okay, thieves can come. So this is there, okay. But still we believe that if something goes wrong, then police should come, they should catch the thief, and then punishment will happen. And we keep seeing this thing in society that police really catches the thieves, they really go to the jail. And a lot of people, they are not interested in this theft business because they know that they can go to jail. So frankly speaking, if you see the prosecution rate of the cyber crime in Bengaluru, I think it's only 2%. So even if the people are very much aware and they are going to police station, FIR is filed, then investigation happens, trial happens, finally all this after 4 or 5 years, if only 2% cyber criminals are going to jail, then I think there is problem somewhere else. It's not about the awareness. And there is no way that people can be really aware. I think so you are aware of this thing that few people were running a call center in Noida and they were making fraud in American market. They were calling them that we are calling from income tax department or the US department, okay? And you have been caught of some income tax fraud or some evasion. We are coming to your home to arrest you. Indians sitting in Noida, and making money out of the US market. Nigerians are doing it since I think more than 20 years. The Nigerian famous males, that you have got the, I think 20 million, something like that. I don't think that you have no opportunity to people to really understand what is happening, because these people, they will keep developing new ways, psychological ways as well as technological ways. So psychological ways, definitely maybe you can create some awareness, but about technological ways, it's very difficult. So what, like the deep fake technology, how to trust whether it's a real person or a AI person? So what is lacking, I think, as you said, I agree with Professor and with your ideology, that somehow the prosecutors, the police, or the judicial system have failed to counter this problem. And now we are all putting our blame and liability on the poor customers. Okay, you guys should be aware of, because only you can save yourself. I think that's not the job. People are not paying taxes to be aware for everything. I think there are 20 ways that people can kill you. You are not aware for everything. This is the job of the state. And I think somehow state has failed it. So 2% prosecution. And I think if you can see 10 districts, 65% crime. And still I don't see any discussion at the central level or at the divisions level. So I think I agree with Professor, and I agree with your idea, Jago Regulators Jago.
Thank you. I will now get the views of the policeman. Okay. I firmly believe for a very long time that it is the intermediaries who need to be pulled up. Let us see what Mr. Balu would like to say.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all. I have come from Chennai only to learn, to enhance my knowledge, because I have retired in the year 2010. I served in cyber crime cell 2004 to 2006 years continuously. Now I have been doing some awareness program, being president and secretary of Cyber Society of India. Mr. Navi is also traveled with me while I investigate the case. Here, the first point they told, why crime occurs in particular place. We have found out only a particular place. All the cyber crimes are not getting reported. You accept. So only few crimes. We don't have any statistics. I have seen for 11 crimes, one crime getting reported. Even that one crime, not at all acknowledged by the police, not registered. Not registered as a petition, complaint, not FIR. If it is come FIR, then only it will come to Records Bureau. So here we have identified 10 places. The first point, the criminals, who is afraid of? Criminals have no guilty feeling. Victim have guilty feeling. If I lost anything, what they will say? Because of our greediness, you responded. Because of our negligence, you responded. Because of necessity, today is electricity is going to be cut. We won't think about anything. We are particular about electricity. Whatever you say, I will obey. So, freshly, we have to think. We are clearing browsing history of computer. We are not clearing browsing history of our brain. Here in Chennai, in one place, cybercrime cell opened. Previously, it was a Xerox. Every policeman will come to our cybercrime cell. Sir, I need 4 printout. Sir, I have Word. This is a cybercrime cell. Because seeing through eyes, but hard disk giving instructions, this is a Xerox. So we should repeat. Because of greediness, necessity, even literate are responding. I am working in NGO. I am sitting by his side. He only recruited me. I am an advisor. He is an HR head. He is getting a call. from ICICI Bank, not ICICI Bank, it's a true caller. Sir, this is the last day. You have more points. I am going to convert it cash and deposit in your account. He is believing. I say, sir, is it cheating? No, Bala. I cannot be, I won't be cheated. I know everything. I know everything. Next day is coming. That day I lost 7,000 rupees. So nothing will happen. The mind, human attitude, nothing will happen. Even if you travel in the flight, they will say if anything happens, how to wear the safety. No one will watch. They will read newspaper, there's something. So nothing will happen. So internet users have to take precautions. Criminals here, they have only scapegoats. They are trained, as I earlier told, criminals can easily operate. Police officer cannot easily investigate because we don't have any enough tools. Criminals can hack your email ID, but who hacked? I cannot find out. Another thing, communication we have outsourced. The investigation has to be outsourced, not should be done by the police. If you depend on police, the same status. I depended on Mr. Navi. At the time, he will come by immediately after the report of the case. I will call the Navi. He will come on his own vehicle. I won't pay any money at all because we don't have any money. So what I am saying, it should be outsourced. Investigation, police cannot. Police cannot. In future, a lot of sophisticated crimes will happen. So government also cannot invest. So the private party, they have to take up the investigation because all the evidence in the computer, not in the human. So it should be recovered by the software people. Why you are depending on police? Nothing, no use at all. As a policeman, I'm because of experience, I'm saying. So in future, I have so many points, but I am without any cogence, I will speak because you asked two questions. Another is social engineering. The social engineering, even literate people are sharing the OTP because don't have a listening capacity, seeing capacity. In the message itself, do not share OTP. It is here. No one is reading. That's why it's happening. So we have to repeat awareness. No other way. Subsequently, if any points comes, I will join.
Thank you. Before we go for a break, I want Dr. Ananta Prabhu and Divya to actually give some final comments. Then we may have to take a break and then reassemble. Then Anil also can stay back. Then we will discuss about solutions. Only Ananta Prabhu has said he has to go out. So even Divya, if you can stay back, you are welcome. Yeah, Ananta Prabhu, some comments. Yeah.
Excellent points by the retired police officer. Every point made so much sense. That shows the experience that sir has had over the years. So I just have one point which I would like to mention, that India should come out with a national cyber police. Just like how we have the CBI, we have the ED, we have NIA, we have all these central agencies. We should have a central agency for cyber policing also, so that tomorrow, let the crime happen in any state of our country, the central agency over there should tie up with the state police and they have to make sure that it happens, because right now we know the complexities that are there. So if Karnataka state police has to go to Chennai, then take permission from the DGP, take permission from the local police station, go with somebody. So it's a Herculean task, even if the amount is say 5,000 rupees. Okay, so they'll have to spend about 1 lakh rupees to go and come, because 3-4 officers have to go, their travel, their stay and all that. So if we can have one central agency for cyber policing, I think India would really be on par with the other best of the other countries that are handling the cyber cases in the world.
Already CBI is doing part in the first case. I came to Mumbai from Chennai. and I collected evidences from browsing center. Instead of coming, the Mumbai police itself can collect the evidence. The part investigation, cybercrime, every state, even the occurrence happened in Tamil Nadu, the Mumbai police has to do. Then even trial also video conferencing. If such a situation comes, we can have a more number of cases getting convicted. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Divya will be able to stay back for the next session.
No, sir, I'll take your leave now.
Okay.
Hello?
Can you give your final comments?
So because it's a student audience, I feel that they will see many more years of very advanced cyber crimes. And I feel that criminals are very smart and they're evolving at a very good rate. What really helps is sharing this information with each other, but we don't because we feel so ashamed when we have been cheated. I do appreciate the people who have come forward and who have shared their experiences. The only feedback or my passing comments to the students would be that if your friend or somebody has been a victim of cybercrime, please don't laugh at them and think that, this person has been very stupid and make them feel even more ashamed. Because I think that is what is commonly happening. And then some people are very distressed by it. And then the crime obviously goes unreported. Just understand that emotions are very, very irrational. And in that emotional roller coaster, all of us can be fooled by a smart person. So let us just be aware of that and be kind to the person who's telling us that they've been a victim. That's all. Thank you for the opportunity.
In this connection, I will add one point. Do not hesitate to give a complaint. I will get a call. Sir, I have missed my mobile phone. Can I report? You have to necessarily report. If I report, the police will they recover my mobile phone. It is a duty of the police. What is your duty? It is a social responsibility. If you don't give a complaint, the same mobile phone will be used for the crime. Then you will be caught. Expose the crime. It is your duty. If you expose the crime, at least you are alerting the other persons. So you don't worry about the police or anything. If you victim of crime, you expose it. Do not feel shy to expose the crime. That's the point Madam told. That's why I insisted. Thank you.
Thank you. Anil, will you be able to stay for the next session?
No, I would like to leave, so I can give you a final note if it is okay. I can give a closing note if you're okay.
Okay, so because we have to take a minutes break. So there are a lot more things you can add to the discussions in the next session where we are going to have some discussion on solutions like the police cadre, which Ananta Prabhu was telling, and now the intermediary, how do we make them more responsible? So these are some of the things which we would like to take in the next panel. So as I told you, I feel guilty that I have not given sufficient time for all of you to actually speak out. But I think that is something which happens in this short duration thing. So I think, Avinash, we'll take a break now. Yeah, I think we will take a break. Thanks to all the people who have been on virtual listening. Please be back in another 10 minutes. We will reassemble and continue. Okay, thank you.
Echo is there, sir.
So let me chapter. We have told many times that NCRB reporting is also sometimes skewed. But let us work with the current data, which was actually given by one research organization recently from IIT Kanpur. And they came out with their statistics that nearly 80% of cyber crimes happen in 10 districts. And if you just bring it down to the top 5 cities, then 60% of cyber crimes happen in 6 places, like Bharatpur is one such place, Mathura is another place, Nu is another place. Then, in fact, earlier we used to call as Jamtara. Now, Jamtara has come to 9.6% of this total cyber crime. So other 4 towns have gone above them. That may not be because Jamtara crimes have come down. It may be because these other Bharatpur and others have got more crimes. And some of them, as people were talking of, internationally, they're committing frauds. They're getting money from Japan, they're getting money from USA. But of course, we are more concerned when money goes out from Bangalore or something like that. And today, cyber crimes, which are happening in that sextortion kind of a thing, the money taken is not 1,000 or 2,000. I have myself heard of people who have paid 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs on such aspects. And these cyber criminals seem to be making or minting money much more than any of the corporate professionals or somebody like that. So there is a lot of incentives which they seem to have. And one of the other things which I always, I told earlier also, was when villagers came down and chased away the police people who had taken into custody 2 cyber crimes, I felt that that was indicative that law and order has passed on from the police to the mafia people, and we need to do something. When we say we, I'm talking of the government should do something. They should have actually supported the local police in such a manner that I would have said CRPF should be sent to that particular place, something like that. So criminals cannot chase away police. If that happens, it means that we are in a very dangerous anarchic situations. So that is what we discussed in the morning. Dr. Triveni, in the earlier session, Dr. Triveni Singh, who is known as Cyber Singham. I don't know, many of you know. He is actually on that character only the TV serial was done, on his character. Okay, so he is such a notable person in India. He is in UP, but still most of these Bharatpur and other things are happening in UP. So you can imagine, despite having one of our best police officers, still UP, you can say, is at the top of the crime chart. He's detecting, maybe that may be, that may be true. Mathura. Yeah. Mathura today is in 2nd place. Bharatpur is 1st place. Mathura is in the 2nd place. So he was there. So now we have to look at what kind of solutions. See, when we say solutions, technology solutions, legal solutions, and administrative solutions, all the 3 we need to look at. And some pointers came in the earlier this thing also about the police force, whether we should have a centralized cyber crime police. This is something which we have been telling for last years, actually, saying for 2 reasons. One, in a cyber crime police station, for a policeman to gain expertise, it takes a couple of years. By the end of that period, if he is transferred, we are not able to have the continuity of the expertise. In fact, that is something which police department has to look at. Apart from deputing the cybercrime police to a bandobast duty when a cricket match goes on, it looks very bad for us. Balu must have seen such things happen in his lifetime, but I think that shows that there is something wrong with the system. So that kind of a thing. Technology solutions like gamification, people were talking of, and law. We have to look at whether there is any requirement of law. My own viewpoint is law as it exists in Information Technology Act is not being implemented properly. Okay, it's a question of interpreting situations, and whoever is responsible for implementing it, like the adjudicators who handle the civil matters and the police who handle the criminal matters, they need to actually take that into account. An example I want to give is recently, very recently, about 2 years back, a government property like digital locker, you know how important. Digital locker was hacked by a so-called ethical hacker, and he published it on the website saying that I have done a great thing. Okay. I said, you have not done a great thing. You have actually hacked into government property and it is a cyber terrorism activity. Okay. I notified that you are talking about duty of a citizen. I notified it to Ministry of Information Technology as well as to the CERT-in, but nothing happened. Okay. Recently, this person had the temerity to issue a notice to me for defamation, saying that you published an article in which you have defamed me. Okay. So now again, I took up with the ministry and others saying that I'm a whistleblower, you should protect me. Okay. But so far they have not come back with any proper response. I have even filed a report in that cybercrime.gov.in just to protect myself now. If that person pursues the notice in the court, then I will have to defend myself. And the only way I can defend is that as a dutiful citizen, I wanted to report the crime because that was my duty. Okay. So why I'm mentioning this is if the regulators don't want to act, it is a license for criminals to continue to do what they want to do because it's a laxity which promotes that kind of a thing. So I have been very unhappy the way the government did in this particular case. For somebody who took it passionately as a crime against the nation, it should be done. But that is where I say regulators should do their duty. Citizens will do their duty, but regulators need to do their duty. In our Data Protection Act, data principals are expected to have some duties, otherwise take some penalty. Now, what about these banks? Now, if 1,25,000 crores is being distributed to criminals in these 10 cities, every one of the banks there must be having deposits of these criminals. What do we mean? That is money laundering. So this much of money is getting laundered in, say, 50, 60, 100 bank branches. What is their responsibility? How did they do KYC? Do you ask a customer? I was a banker. So do you ask a customer where from you got 1 crore of rupees into your account? What kind of business you are doing? If it is good, I will also do that business. So bankers should be able to know that disproportionate credits coming to the account is an indication of criminal proceeds coming into it, or it is an indication of money laundering. So what is their responsibility? Then most of these crimes have got SIM card issues. So who is issuing the SIM card? Some local trader, and Airtel and others are there. They are also responsible for the proliferation of these crimes. They are the intermediaries who need to be tightened up. That's why I say, if intermediaries are controlled, then crimes will come down drastically. Our Data Protection Act, as of today, is entirely a regulation of data fiduciaries, which is the intermediaries. There is an application of mind in that. ITA 2000 has such things, but in implementation, it has not been properly done. So that is where I am now asking Reserve Bank of India. I think somebody else was also talking about it. Reserve Bank of India, we have to question why you are not taking action when money laundering is happening so openly in Bharatpur and other places. Have you done an audit of the branches in Bharatpur and seen what is the relationship between the deposits of an XYZ customer and his known sources of income? So that is the responsibility of RBI, same way the ED. They are all regulators. I want all of them to actually be awakened. So that is why I say we are all doing awareness at the common level, person's level. It's time now we raise that level of awareness to institutions. That is where academic institutions will come into being. If I call all the adjudicators to come and say, take an awareness, they will not come. If I ask all the police officers to come, they will not come. But academic institutions have the capability of getting these kind of regulators. If you run a seminar or something for those people, you may be able to get them on one platform and try to convey this. So that is one of the objectives of our second session. When we start this, I would like to tell the speakers one thing. At 5 o'clock or 5:10 or so, Dr. Gulshan Rai is expected to to join. In case you know about Dr. Gulshan Roy, he's one of the earliest persons who was a cyber security person on the government side in India. Just as I have been in cyber crime law related things from 1998, Gulshan Roy has been there from the government side. So he is also a veteran in cyber crime. So he's coming around 5 o'clock. If necessary, we will break this session and give him an opportunity to speak. Then we'll have the concluding remarks. Okay, fine. So now I think we will first go to Dr. Mahendra Limaye, because Limaye was earlier having his own cyber, crime related activists kind of activities, and he has actually filed cases asking regulators like adjudicators why this should not be done, why this should not be done. He has questioned them that many of the intermediaries like website owners don't put their address. So some of these issues he has taken up as PIL. Okay. Now, Limaye, I would like you to react to the current situation that the development of these 510 centers is alarming. What should we do to ensure that these centers are brought under some kind of a regulatory control?
Yeah. First, I congratulate all of us for this Information Technology or ITI Day, which FDPPI is regularly celebrating. And a small correction, though as a President District Consumer Commission Bhandara, I have not assumed charge yet. I have deferred that particular posting because my workload doesn't permit me to leave this particular field. So I have asked for 2 months extension. So as of now, I am President Designate District Consumer Commission. So coming to what could be done for this sort of centers. First, responsibility of the bankers. Mr. Navi has put very pertinent question that when crores of rupees are transferred or turnover happens in single account in any bank, what does the bankers do? We have cases where transaction of 4 or 5 crores happen in a single day, and bankers doesn't do any AML or any other investigation of that particular activity. So bankers are equally responsible in this particular matter because they are not following their KYC or AML duties properly. And this is giving very huge benefit to cyber criminals because many fake accounts are being opened. Say account opener is at some remote location and account is activated or being used at main places like capital cities. So we are in digital era, we are in this particular net banking era, anywhere banking era. But if account is opened at some remote place and regularly being operated at some capital cities, there must be some red flag issued by the bankers. So first responsibility of the bankers in these main centers. Another is telecom service providers. They provide a number of connections to that particular location, huge broadband connection. So they are looking to their revenues only. They are not looking who are the actual customers, where these particular services are being utilized. Whether making again KYC regulations followed by these particular TRAI operators or not. So bankers, regulators, and third is the police. Because when across India, any complaint is reported at single location, police are 99.9% reluctant in filing the complaint because they will ask first go to bank, first go to this location, first go to that location. So this apathy of bankers, telecom service providers, and police are hampering the interest of small people who want to register the complaint. And as Navi sir has explained, as a whistleblowers, what we are doing in our limited capacity is not being appreciated also by the society also. Because when we take up these sort of issues, complainants are very reluctant to come forward and register the complaint. They ask assurance after money is lost that If we file legal complaint, what is the assurity that our money will be returned? Or do you guarantee that by this particular provisions of IT Act, you will refund our money? So at present, situation is very pathetic. We, the citizens, are at the literally mercy of the cyber criminals. Those who have not witnessed this particular attack should feel themselves safe. So few security tips that the bankers must set the limits to all the accounts, because bankers set highest limit to each and every account. They should set minimum limit. This 24/7 transaction business must go. Though we are living in digital era, maximum fraud happens in night hours. People though receive messages, they are not prompt to act because that is their sleeping hours. And third is, each and every police station must be empowered to report the complaint and to investigate on it. And simple solution is centralized cyber crimes investigation authority. So these are very few opening remarks because other speakers are there and Dr. Rai is also expected. So these are my opening remarks. Thank you, sir, for opportunity.
I will now go to Advocate Sai Teja for his preliminary remarks on what can be done to rein in these cybercrime hubs. Sai Teja.
You are on mute, Mr. Teja.
You are on mute. You are on mute.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everybody, the students and all the distinguished speakers, online and offline. You know, if it is a conventional event, we used to say all the speakers on the dais and off the dais. But now it's the instance, thanks to technology. Now there is a different way of saying it, you know, whoever is present online and offline. Very good evening to you all. It's a great privilege and honor for me to speak to the young minds about the, you know, the latest developments with regards to the cyber crimes and the enforcement and how do we curb this menace. So very well, you know, I've been listening to distinguished speakers in the last about in the earlier session where we were talking about the need of the special cadre by name cyber police officers. So when I talk about it, what is the need of having a separate cadre of investigation officers by name cyber police officers? First of all, the primary need lies here because the primary reason, as I said, there is an increasing number of cyber crimes happening this year. Second point, to tackle this particular cyber crimes, it is not the traditional or conventional investigating methods or investigation tools that will come to the help. It needs a very different set of technologies, different set of tools, different set of the thought process or the way we conduct the investigation. Now let's compare to the traditional police and the cyber police. What is the difference now? Let us try to understand in a very simple terms. If I have to conduct an investigation on some crime like murder, what is there? Ideally, there is a kind of scene of offense, first of all. When there is a scene of offense, the police visits the scene of offense, and then they try to conduct the preliminary inquiry, collection of evidences and all. Now, let us try to understand the scene of offense when it is in the context of the cyber crime. When it is a cyber crime, what is the scene of offense? The scene of offense is the network. The scene of offense is the network, with enormous number of devices connected onto this particular network, and we do not know where exactly the scene of offense has been committed. Right? Scene of offense has a very yes, absolutely. We might say this person has got cheated or frauded, but who has done this particular offense will not be able to locate them. So to locate or to investigate into this particular set of things, we need a definitely a different set of officers who will conduct the investigation. And to conduct the investigation, it is not the traditional policing methods that will help us. We need technology-abled officers, technology, expertise. We need technology expertise to conduct this particular investigations, collection of evidences. Now, collection of evidence is now the good point here in this particular cybercrime or digital landscape is whatever we do normally, everything has got some print, digital print. So whenever in the digital print, basically what happens, anyone who commits an offense, they think that they can escape, but if we have this expertise of catching hold of the offender, if we have the expertise of locating that particular offender, it is definitely possible for us to locate and catch hold of the offender. That is one important thing. And now there is one other thing what we need to understand here in this particular landscape. Technology is becoming more sophisticated. Technology is becoming more upgraded day by day. I'll give you one instance. Earlier, people used to send messages on WhatsApp saying that, impersonating. Let's say, they keep, a picture of a known person in your circle and they'll message you saying that, hi, how are you? I want this money. I will return this money. Immediately after seeing that money, what will you normally do is you will immediately send money to their concerned phone number, asking whatever the number they asked you to send, you will send that money. Now, after some time, what happened? We got to know that it is a fraud. We realized that is a fraud, and then what happened? We stopped sending the money, and we understood that is a organized crime. But now there is new way of doing this frauds. How? Let's say now I'm speaking here on the online. Somebody will try to, what they will try to do, cyber criminals, what they try to do, they try to analyze my voice patterns, the pace which I speak, the emotion with which I speak, the words I speak commonly, and they try to build an algorithm based on this using AI and ML. And now what they will try to do, they will teach the machine to do this, and immediately you will get a call. You will listen as if I'm speaking to you. I will not call you in particular. There is a machine which calls you and says hi, and it imitates exactly the way I speak, the words I use, or with the emotion I do. This is exactly happened very recently. This is nothing but you understand how technology is becoming sophisticated, and every day there is an upgradation in the technology, and cyber criminals are taking advantage of this particular thing, and they are trying to encash out of the whole gamut. So to address this this specific, cyber crimes, what we would definitely need is a separate set of officers who are really expert in this particular domain. But creating the special cadre of cyber security police is a matter of policy decision, and is a matter of the parliamentarian decision, right? We can say definitely yes, we would need a set of police officers who are specialized in this. See, I want to distinguish here one important thing. Every state police machinery has a dedicated cyber police team, but they do not have a specialized police wing who will alone take care of the cyber crimes, right? So in this context, what I would say is it is always better to have a specialized police officers, a team of police officers, a wing of police officers who will deal with these particular types of crime. It is not the dedicated. There is a very much difference between the words dedicated and specialized. So when it comes to specialized, they are absolutely equipped with all the tools, all the technologies, and they come from this IT background. Or we can develop them in particular in IT streams, so that they can tackle this program in an order way, and they can definitely reduce the crimes that are happening. It is always an endeavor to reduce the crimes that are happening. In fact, we always try to control the crime, but it is a matter of who commits the crime. And it is also another important point we need to consider here is understanding or decoding the intention of the cyber criminal here. Now, earlier, I'll give you different sets of examples here. Intention, when a person commits a traditional intentions, right? A person commits a traditional crime. What would be his intention? His intention would be to get benefit out of it. Point number one. Point number two, to victimize the other party. Now, when it comes to the landscape of the cyber world, what matters here is not just two things. There are many things that can be added. There are many things that comes into the picture. It could be financial gain. It could be, affecting the whole demography or the location people or taking advantage. Let me give you an idea. Now there is a war happening. So the same thing, if happens on the cyber world, just imagine how devastating it would be. We may not see the fatalities, but we may see economies going down. Just imagine. So there are many crimes that may happen in this cyber world with this sophisticated technology and advancements in the technology. I think definitely India needs a special category of officers, and this is a brilliant idea Mr. Navi has proposed to have. I think if this initiative goes around and then people start advocating for this particular idea, this will be a brilliant thing to have special category of specialized police officers who will tackle cyber crimes. Yeah.
A couple of questions are there from our audience. I will also try to give that opportunity to them. Adepu and Subraidu seem to have some questions. Manju, you will read out those questions.
Sir, they have raised their hands. They have not written the questions.
Got any questions? Because we have not given them an opportunity to speak earlier.
Adepu sir, you can speak now. If you want to raise a question, you can speak now.
I don't have any question.
And also
Earlier, I
keep
raised
watching
hand
whether
at that
Gulshan
time,
Rai has
there was
joined. Yeah.
our professor Triveni Singh was asking me whether are you raising to my voice. So just to alert to you people, I raised a hand.
Okay.
I have no question, please. Go ahead.
Okay. Then we'll go ahead. Okay. Now, one of the things which came up is what bankers can do. That is where I would like to bring in Anil on this concept of adaptive authentication. That is, we are today basing authentication of bank accounts only on the basis of passwords. Password is not a digital signature under law. Now, there is a need to have, I think, Limian also told, why should there be 24 hours banking? Anytime banking was a technology development. Now there is a need to put a break. I should be able to decide what time I would like to bank. Like today in credit cards and other things, I can fix what amount of limit can be there on the card, whether I want to use it for local transactions and e-commerce transactions and so on. But no bank has today given us an opportunity to say, I don't want transactions at midnight, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. That is where when phishing transactions happen. So anytime banking to be reduced, and adaptive authentication, that is using a factor of authentication beyond the passwords and even OTP. About that, can Anil throw some light on whether the security can be improved by such measures?
Sir, definitely, sir. I think the world has gone beyond. I agree with what Sai Teja was, talking about. So the scammers are using basically most deepfake attacks, voice phishing, credential stuffing, AI powered. And I'm also surprised to see that when we were doing research, we found out that starting using behavioral biometrics, predictive analysis, and language, natural language processing. So they've gone much more ahead than what the law enforcement agencies and judicial authorities can do. So here in this context of adaptive authentication, my context would be is my daughter was studying just a year ago in Spain. So for me, I had to talk in the night and do the banking transaction in the night. So I think it should be anywhere, anytime banking. That's what will lead to much more better economy. So that's my say rather and my wish. So there's one thing that we can do is we can all have device geolocation limits. So probably you can create a geofence set. Any transaction happening from this place is me. You can also do that. And ICICI did some trials and it didn't go. I think they had some legal issues, and there was a privacy which came into part of it, and somehow it is not made. So device geolocation should also be considered, and also IP address geolocation also to be considered. So it will help to verify who is logging and who is not logging. So if let's suppose that I have already geolocated to Hyderabad and some banking transaction happening on my name in Bangalore, they automatically, based on the behavioral AI metrics, automatically the banking transaction gets stopped. There are already softwares which are available, and bankers are right now are testing in a beta mode. So behavioral. So I have a different keystroke to be made. I have a different language and algorithms and different way of typing. Then automatically it detects and does that. So ICICI is doing it. It should bring any movement. So geolocation, IP address geolocation is something that we know. And as part of it, I'm also talking about risk scoring. So how the assessment has to be done. So in terms of if the geolocation data aligns to user profile, the risk score may be lower. Or something like, smoother high logger experience converts. So basically what I'm trying to tell is we should have anywhere, anytime business transaction where in which we also geolocate ourselves, even including the IP address and the frequent locations. And we must have a behavioral analysis. Also part, I think ICICI is the first one to come out. They're doing the beta testing. I think this is just happen. And this is an adaptive authentication method. It's not just my fingerprint or OTP. Apart from that, these also have to be taken. So system should be able to read and then suggest us.
Mr. Mallikarjun, can you add anything to the legal requirements which can strengthen our banking systems regulation?
Okay. Well, may not be anything in particular, but definitely I would like to suggest, as shared in the previous session, techno-legal security is the answer. Thus, both technological inputs and the legal regulation should become more and more robust, both in terms of policy, norms, and implementation. Is what my suggestion is. And by now we have realized that cyber world or virtual world, whatever we call, earlier we called it cyber world, is omnipresent and omni-capable. I mean, omnipresent and omnipotent, and it's omniscient too. Thus, the government needs to be omniscient in all respects, is what I believe. My justification or the rationale why government should be more and more equipped with the technology and with legal regulation is for this reason, that why are we forgetting that cyber DNA is in place, and cyber DNA is harnessed well by the business organizations and not by the government. Which business organization doesn't know, which marketing organization doesn't know where I am sitting now, where all I went? My Google location is so much, it tells you where I am and what I buy, what I think, what kind of reels I see, what kind of, what not. When business organizations and market organizations, or any other name, you may get what I'm saying, can track so much, it amazes us to think why government cannot track. Probably the reason is, I don't know if that's the reason. Can we conclude that the technology that is in the private domain is not in the public domain, in the sense, not with the government? So should we, along with the law, provide adequate technological support? Should the government become omniscient? By omniscient, I mean all powerful, all known. All known. Government should, like we say, we say, when I stand on this, I must know a little more than my students. Similarly, government should know little more technology than the one which regulates. This, in addition to this Central Cyber Crime Investigation Bureau, whatever you are suggesting, that's a great thing for a variety of reasons, mainly for jurisdictional issues. And on the same lines, I was just thinking, since you have given me this comfort of making suggestion, should we have some organization at government level? There are now departments like Department of Electronics, IT, Biotechnology, and Science. These departments go to see how to regulate, how to encourage technology, where to regulate, etc. All that is fine. On the same lines of Central Cybercrime Investigation Bureau, should we have some organization at government which is going to keep track of technological omniscience of the government? And lastly, should we pass on the burden to the business organizations which exploit IT for their market benefits? Because now, at least in 2013, CSR has come in place. Should we make that the CSR responsibility for the technologically advanced players in the market to support technology, give technological support to the government? Because they are the one who exploit the resources and the environment provided only by the government. Probably we could think on these lines too, to technologically make the governments.
So public-private partnership in cybersecurity to be made a CSR kind of a. Mr. Avinash, are there any constitutional issues in these things?
No, sir, I don't think it's a constitutional issue. It's a very domestic issue. And interestingly, I know that technology has been evolved to very next level, AI integration. But most of the things, as I agree with the advocates, that the beauty of IT crime is that they really leave some traces, So if you follow them properly, you can catch them. At the district level, definitely they don't have resources. I think sir can maybe endorse this thing that if you see the district level police machinery, they don't have strong software or technology or the people. So, and definitely they can't hire some senior consultant. They are quite expensive. And even at the central level, I think I must say of the record that I have few friends in CBI, and trust me, even CBI doesn't have good IT, cybercrime resources. So in many cases, they take the help of Big Four, like the Deloitte, EY. This is very common. They go with private consultants. So to some extent, I think the way we have created cyber infrastructure in our country in last 10 years, I think that's amazing what India has done in last 10 years. That's really amazing. In the same manner, I think we could not create cyber security mechanism in the public domain. So private domain, yes, I agree with him. I think the all Big Four, some top class consulting firms, some top class consultants like you, they can deliver at the top level. But at the public level, yes, we don't have infrastructure, we don't have resources. And interestingly, even I don't see will also. I think, because in public sector, you guys need to understand that whenever at the top level, if they want something, it will appear. It will appear through CSR, it will appear through the budget, and trust me, it's not very expensive. Okay, it's not like that, it's costing you billions. The most sophisticated cybersecurity lab in this country, most at the top level, maybe you can establish in 100 to 200 crore rupees. I don't think that this is a really big money for any CM or any DGP through their network connection. This money can come through CSR or public funding. To some extent, I think there is a serious lack of awareness among the top level. Still, they believe that if we create awareness in the market, the people, it will resolve. But that's not happening. Cybercrime is increasing almost 400 times every year. So it means now they need to understand that they have created public infrastructure, IT infrastructure. Cyber criminals are using that public infrastructure to do these all crimes. Yes. Sir, cybercrime is possible because of the Aadhaar, because of all these very efficient infrastructure created by the government of India. Otherwise, it's not possible for them. So the access to internet, access to mobile. So the cyber criminals can learn new tricks through YouTube. The internet is very fast. It's available. They can. I think government has to little bit take it seriously. Government means the people who are taking some calls like the police officers, bureaucrats, and the civils and the politicians.
Yeah.
Constitutionally, I don't see any problems are there.
Yeah.
It's a simple law and order issue.
Okay. Now creating the central force kind of a thing.
Oh, no, not at all, sir. Not at all. Because like, for example, I tell you when a lot of corporate fraud started happening in Indian market, Government of India decided to create SFIO under the MCA.
Yeah.
So all serious frauds and in the corporate worlds are investigated by SFIO now. Same way we have created NIA, ED and a lot of investigating agencies. So I don't see any problem that why MHA cannot create a separate wing or the investigation office to deal with high premium interstate organized cybercrime. And I think if you give this job to ED, I think they can do very well, and because they can attach properties. I think we need to hit them.
People say law enforcement is a state responsibility.
No, sir. So once the government of India decided to like the cyber crime as an organized crime or against the national security,
define it like that.
Yeah. So
cyberspace is not geographical space. So
and
crime happens in cyberspace.
It's connected with money laundering. It's connected with terrorism. Like for example, NU, sir, if I tell you the NU area is very much affected in the terrorism also.
Yeah.
So a lot of money moving in the NU
trade.
and moving to the terrorism side.
Yeah.
So government of India can do very easily, and if they give power to ED, though the powers are very problematic, but still if they give that power and attach the property of these people, freeze their accounts. Local police, sir, they can't attach their accounts.
Yes.
They can't attach their properties. That's why they are not effective. We need to hit them. We need to hit their financial interest. Then only something.
When you say financial interest, I'm immediately reminded of the currency of the criminals. What is the currency of the criminals? It is the cryptocurrencies and bitcoins. Should we not have regulation or banning or something like that of cryptocurrencies?
But that's going on in the G20 level also, sir. I don't think that we have international understanding on this. I think Ferrari in the USA, they've started taking cryptocurrency as a payment. So Ferrari, they have accepted cryptocurrency as a payment. So I think this is a debatable topic, that whether this digital currency can be banned at the national level, or is it possible for government to regulate it? Okay, I think that's not a possible, sir. It's at least a near time, but
I take your view on that. Okay.
Sir, you attach their properties. So the easiest thing, the ED, what they do, they go and attach their property. They freeze their account. At least hit them. Unfortunately, these cyber criminals, if you go and you see, nobody is hitting them. And cyber crime is not a serious crime. It's not a heinous crime. You get easily a bail from the court. So I don't think that we are really hitting them hard.
Okay. Balu, you have got anything to add?
Good evening to all. Thank you for all the speakers and suggestions. Regarding banks, few years back, I attended a bank training. Concluding session, Central Minister participated. He asked a suggestion. I have given a suggestion, instead of giving training to bank people, give training to the customers. All the activities are being done by only customers, not by the bank. We shocked. So you give a mock drill. I have shared my OTP, not willingly, because of I don't have knowledge. So I shared OTP. The bank people asking the victim, shared OTP, so your money has gone away. Only for my safety, I put your money, my money in your bank. You are smiling and telling you have shared the OTP. You have to give a repeated training. We are giving mock drill. In case of fire drill, we are giving. So you give all the customers, you give a mock drill. You train up. Without training up, one thing. Another thing, if 100 customers are being cheated on particular bank, why not the bank itself has given a consolidated complaint, one complaint? Because in daytime, money is looted with the gunpoint. Who is giving the complaint? Bank people. My money is there in the bank. The bank people. The server hacked. This bank people is telling, Balu, you are in your account. Money has gone away. he only informing, then I have to give a complaint. All the details I have to get from the bank only. Why not you? So we have to think on that line. You're always shifting the blame on the customers. What you are doing, you give a complaint. If any phishing website, if anybody like Balo, one person acting as a Balo, if he cheats you, I have to give a complaint, and I have to, who is cheating by using my identity. So the bank people also has to do. Now I repeatedly I used to say, sir, no, sir. If any phishing, sir, we won't give a complaint. So such a mindset has to change. Thank you.
Mr. Lemay, Mr. Lemay, can you
Yes, sir.
add your thoughts on these regulations of intermediaries? If you consider bank as an intermediary, is there anything which we can do beyond Section 79 of ITA 2000?
Yeah, so banks should mandatorily come up with the complaint themselves. They should have their own investigation mechanism. It is mandated on them to have FIU, fraud investigation unit. What bankers do, they just pass on this particular information to the complainant and ask him to go to report to police to everywhere. So here intermediary is lacking in his responsibilities of proper guidance to the victim and making further actions for recall of that particular money. Very rarely we find that bankers themselves do this particular act of recall of money. So bankers are in best position to know where money has been transferred. They are in best position to know to which payment gateway money has been transferred. So they are shirking their responsibility as an intermediary. They just understand the provisions of 67C that we have followed our duties. But these duties gave them certain rights. They are in best position to understand the crimes. They are in best position to understand the velocity pattern of the complainants. So a lot of technological solutions are needed for the bankers. And as far as intermediary liabilities are concerned, this should not be the argument which court will accept, that bank is in intermediary capacity. Intermediaries are cast with certain responsibilities, and banks are far below their required reasonable duties which they are required to follow. And yes, we are making, means I personally have made most of the banks as a respondent in various matters, and banks come with this particular defense that if my account holder does something wrong, what is my responsibility? I am not going to check that account. Bankers must know that there is duty of anti-money laundering activity. They are cast responsibility to know your customer details, the IP address, the MAC ID from which customer is regularly operating that particular account. So we bankers are thrusting this technology on the users that do anytime banking, but they are not aware about their own responsibilities, that they need to identify the regular position, regular IP from which complainant or consumer is using. So intermediary liabilities are very much on the bankers, and they must be penalized for non-compliance of the same. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, you have also handled a number of adjudications, Lemay. Now, I want to know whether the current adjudication system where the IT secretary is the adjudicator is capable of handling the kind of cyber crimes which we are talking today. And perhaps we have the AI related crimes which may come up tomorrow.
Yes, sir. As far as their capabilities are concerned, since they are IS officers, we cannot comment on their capabilities because all the IT secretaries are IS officers, and as far as their qualifications, we cannot doubt. But yes, their knowledge of cyber law. Without naming one adjudicating officer, recently our one complaint was rejected on the ground that criminal investigation is going on and you cannot file civil suit. So adjudicating officer are lacking this much basic legal knowledge that civil and criminal complaints can go hand in hand. So yes, they are not trained in cyber laws. They are not aware about cyber laws, and there are very pathetic conditions where we have to move to High Court for contempt against these particular adjudicating officers, not taking the complaints for 4 or 5 years. So general people don't understand that how to get relief through civil procedure is difficult, because law section 46 has mentioned that ordinarily IT secretary will deal the complaint within 6 months as far as possible, and IT secretaries require more than 6 years to decide a single case. So this is very pathetic conditions. Our adjudicating officers must be somewhat sensitive, and they should devote at least 1 day in month for taking up IT adjudications. That will be sufficient. But adjudicating officers are not under pressure of judiciary to take up the matter, because judiciary, which is looking after, means High Court, which are looking after all the lower judiciary in their jurisdiction, are turning blind eye on these particular adjudicating officers, and the condition is very pathetic. So adjudicating officers, though their position is dominant one, though they have huge resources at their discretion, only need is they should focus somewhat seriousness on this particular aspect of cybercrime. That could be the best situation we can have. Previously, Mr. Rajesh Agarwal was there, and we know what was the result.
Do you think that adjudication should be a multi-member body, like a secretary, a law secretary and IT secretary should sit together?
That could be the solution, but again, if one secretary cannot devote time, whether two secretaries will simultaneously devote time, that will be another question.
At least I understand. I understand. Lack of legal appreciation, like what you said and what we also had seen once in Bangalore itself, that the definition of a person was, and between 43 and 43A, there was confusion, and a person does not include a company. So the adjudicator did not want to take a case against a bank because bank was not a person. They said he should be an individual, then only he comes under section 43. So those legal issues at least can be sorted out. If they don't want to devote time, of course, nothing much can be done. But as you know, this adjudication system was given to IT secretaries at a time in 2003 when the judiciary was not capable of handling the cyber crimes. Mr. Avinash, today judiciary, can they not devote attention in creating cybercrime expertise amongst judges so that adjudication can be also taken by appropriate judicial person, specially allocated, or a special court?
See, I think, yes, you're right, because judiciary has done it very nicely in other matters. Like, for example, POSCO matters, there is a special court. For the ED, there is a special court. CBI, there is a special court. Family matters, there is a special court. Unfortunately, cybercrime is still going into the magistrate level. And there is no specialization there. So the same magistrate is dealing with all types of PT offenses. And if a serious offense, then maybe go to the ASJ level. So unfortunately, those judges are not giving special attention. That's a point number one. Training point of view, yes, in the judicial academies, they get good training. They are very smart people. They can be trained. They can execute. But unfortunately, we don't have specific cyber law crime courts, which can be done very easily by High Court.
No, who can create that? Is it
High Court? High Court. Yes, because it's a district court issue.
Okay.
Because ultimately trial will go first to the district court and then go to the appeal to the district ADJ and then the
Can
High
this
Court.
not be proposed by academic institutions like you?
Not yet. I don't think so that we have got, maybe somebody must have proposed this thing. I don't know. But see, many people propose many things, but I don't know how many things happen in real life. But yes, this can be a good solution because if we have a special court at the district level, Like for example, Mathura. Okay, I
Mathura,
lived in
yeah.
Mathura, so there are around like 40 judges.
Mm.
So yeah, one or two, maybe one judge can be fully designated, and then interesting thing will happen. And Navi, you need to understand because how judiciary works. So if in Mathura there are suppose 40 judges, so I am responsible for one particular area only. Like I am in charge of maybe 2 police stations. So if any crime happens outside of that police station, then it's a problem. Okay, so if you appoint one specific judge at the district level, so any crime happens within the district, that will fall under the one judge only. That's why we created family courts, ED courts, CBI courts, POSCO courts, okay, even labor courts also. There is a special labor court headed by a senior additional district judge. So I think very good suggestion. Yes, I think it's a good.
Yeah, Manami, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. There are provisions being made by the court. One special court is designated to look after cyber crimes. At least in Nagpur, we have find this particular situation that one particular officer is looking after all the matters, and to surprise, even without registration of FIR in other police, only if complaint is lodged in cybercrime police station, then also that court is taking cognizance of that particular matters, and at least for Supurnama matters, means allowing the property to the complainant, that court is capable. So there, yes, definitely arrangements are being made by High Court that one special court is designated to look after cyber crime. At least I know of in Nagpur, there is one specific court which is looking after cyber crimes matter. Thank you, sir. And I'm just seeking permission to leave this session. Thank you.
Okay. You should share that. You should share that information so that our friends here can take it up in Karnataka and Chennai. And if
Sure,
somebody
sir.
has done in Nagpur, why can't it be done here? We can at least try. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure.
One
Thanks.
of the
Thanks, sir.
deliverables of a conference like this, if it can happen. Okay. Any questions from the audience here? Yeah. Just you will have to be loud.
So this is regarding the senior citizens, they are facing the problems. So when the government is introducing the new laws, so how we know that even though it's a very educated people, they are not tech savvy as us. There is a clear digital divide between the new gen and the old gen. So say for an example, now the Karnataka government has introduced the Grah Jyoti. For all the people is mandated to register in an online basis, integrate with their Aadhaar card, all these things. So there is a chance that people from other people, those are presumed as a friends, and also the senior citizens will take help from the people, those who are acting as friends, and they are getting cheated. There are so many cases I know personally. So, so my suggestion is that why don't, when government introduces a new policy or any subsidy or any other policy which is a mass in nature, why don't they consider there is a people, not only senior citizens, there are other people that is not tech savvy, consider them so it will ultimately it will reduce the crime rate or getting caught in the criminal's hand. So we so that is my suggestion, or it can be happen or not, I don't know.
It's a very good question, because senior people are often frequently guided by their grandson, granddaughter, something. If outsiders, the chances are there for cheating. Definitely it is some applications, application, if it is introduced. In my presence, it has been done. My video or something is available. Subsequent investigation, it can be used. But in the senior citizen frequently cheated. Yes, sir. Even ATM card they are having, they are not operating. They are sending to the bank people also taking that. You are not at operated CCTV shows where some other person, you are not went to ATM. So some rules should be introduced to facilitate the senior citizen.
I should personally thank everybody on my behalf and FDPPI behalf for both being speakers and for people like Mr. Balu coming all down all this thing. And Mr. Sai, if you want to say anything as a final word for concluding the discussions.
Mr. Sai, you're on mute.
You are muted.
Yeah, thank you. So what I can say is, there is a lot of, jurisprudence that needs to evolve in this particular domain with respect to the, cyber law. And there are also many things that people should understand about the digital, data protection and data privacy. That is also one other thing, young students need to focus on if they want to come into these domains. So what I would suggest students is that, they have to keep exploring and keep looking out for the new developments in this particular, aspect, because the cyber law as such is in the very nascent stage, because as technology evolves, as the different types of crimes evolve and the modus operandi changes and everything changes. So it must be kept in mind that, students should strictly follow this news related to cyber crimes and, how cyber laws and, and law and what is the role of law enforcement agencies and all the technologies and anything related to it. If they can get equipped with this, I think they cannot, maybe they will not have to look back in their careers.
Information Technology Act. Now we are still saying that it is at nascent stage. We are trying to understand. Now if DIT comes, then we will have to start all over again. Secondly, the new Data Protection Act does not have civil remedy for the data principles. So all those persons who want to claim compensation under the DPDPA will have to come to the adjudicator under ITA 2000. So adjudicators of ITA 2000 who are still struggling to understand what are their responsibilities under ITA 2000 will now have to look at what are their responsibilities under DPDPA. And if they are saying that civil and criminal cannot go together, now the data principles complaint goes to the Data Protection Board. So there will be some action going on that is against data fiduciary. It will not result in claim compensation to the data principal. So the principal goes here. At that time, they should not say, since you have already filed a complaint with the Data Protection Board, you cannot come to me. So they have to understand the jurisprudence of how these two different laws will function. So these are some of the things which we need to actually educate the regulators. Now, in this education exercise, FDPPI cannot do. This is where the giants who are sitting there as heads of educational institutions, they are the persons who can bring this. I have once tried with adjudicators and said, let us have all the 29 states adjudicators at one place. I want to conduct a seminar for them on what is adjudication. Nobody was able to organize that.
Secretary in a state. It's a punishment post. Nobody wants IT secretary position as IT service. Okay. Because once you are put as an IT secretary, basically you have a lot of free time. Okay. So it's a punishment posting. Everybody wants to quit as an IT secretary within 6 months. So once they are appointed, they start trying how to get transferred.
But anyway, my request.
So I think it's a systematic error. This job should be given to someone else.
Now, my request to the academicians is, please try to educate these regulators. It is beyond the capacity.
No, sir. Navi sir, that's why I'm requesting you, please change your narrative, because you can't train someone who is not serious. Because if I am an IT secretary in Karnataka, okay, Karnataka is still a good state in terms of IT secretary, you interact with IT companies. Just imagine you are IT secretary in Bihar. What will you do? You are IT secretary in Assam, there is nothing to do. And interestingly, okay, Navi sir, I tell you, because I work very closely with government and a lot of friends in civil service. Most of the states, IT secretary is an additional charge. So you are Secretary of Transport, you are Secretary of A, B, C, then you are Secretary of IT. So it's an additional charge because at the state level, you don't have enough number of IS officers. And IS officers don't allow junior officers, the state officers, to be appointed as a principal secretary. So principal secretary is a cadre position. Okay, it's a now I think sir will understand. It's a cadre position. So cadre position can go to only IPS and IS. So IPS, obviously there is a long list of officers, less positions, more officers. In IS, less officers, more positions. So in many states, there are more ministries than eligible IS officers to be appointed as a principal secretary. So what happens, the same guy is taking care of 4 ministries. What do you expect from him? Even if you educate him, suppose you have a good intention, he has a good intention, he doesn't have time because he's handling so many things. So I think we need to change our narrative and we need to give this job to an independent regulator. Like within the state, there has to be independent body, maybe retired IAS, retired high court judges, obviously those guys will be there. One technical person can be there as a member. Those people will do 9 to 6 only this job. Their salary is coming through only because of this job, and they are retired, so they have a lot of time. At least you can educate them. Forget about IS. Nobody can train IS. If you want to train them, then you have to go to Masuli only. Okay, mid-level and advanced level training, and then they only have parties. They don't go there for training. So I think, sir, we need to change the narrative. That's my humble request, Navi sir. Sir, we should recommend ki take away this power from these regulators and give it to an independent agency, expert agency, technical expert agency.
No, that's a great idea, actually. I like a tribunal kind of a thing. You're saying a special this thing, but it may require a notification from the IT department, because earlier 2003 notification created these IT secretaries as adjudicating officers. Yeah, that's not working. So probably this is something which see, we want solution. Whether that solution can come to this or this, I don't know. But what you are suggesting is itself a solution, and which means that you should recommend that to the government. My thought is, okay. Say, yeah, because today, like TDSAT is becoming a common tribunal for ITA 2000 and this. Now for DPDPA and this, we need a common adjudicator. The TDSAT is a tribunal, appellate tribunal. So at the earlier level, there is no adjudicator in DPDPA. DPB itself is the adjudicator. Is the adjudicator. But ITA 2000, when there is a data principle claiming personal compensation, DPP will say, I don't have any rights. So therefore, it will have to come to the ITA 2000 under section 43, I should say, I have suffered a loss and he has to come. So DPDPBA, the issues will come to this thing. That is one. Secondly, both ITA and this has recognized these adjudicators as exclusive jurisdiction. That is, you cannot go to a civil court. So having done that, the government needs to do something to strengthen this scenario. Otherwise, everybody has to go directly to High Court and Supreme Court is not possible. Yeah. Yeah. But your idea of having a separate adjudicator, okay, is a good this thing which can be done by the Ministry of Information Technology. If one proposal has to go from the state, then perhaps they will consider. But anyway, friends, on my part, I think we have used our time reasonably with some positive discussions. But now I leave it to the people to have closing remarks. And we hope that we will continue this discussion in future also. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Navi sir, for such a lively and intense deliberation on cybercrime issues and solutions. Now I would like to invite Ms. Revati Roy. She's an assistant professor with MLS. She will be delivering the vote of thanks. Revati ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Ms. Tulika. It was such an informative session, such a long deliberation. Is it on? Okay, it is on, sir. Yeah. So even these long hours are not enough to cover all our discussions, I believe, and you must be of the same opinion. So we started our session with Professor Triveni here, who started this informative session by leading us towards the various aspects of the dark web and the legal and technological challenges, to which after that, Mr. Navi, he posed certain questions to our speakers. And here he raised the issues of social engineering, the most important issue being that how are cyber villagers getting the skill to commit cyber crimes? How does it become possible for such uneducated persons to commit such technical crimes? To this, our speakers, Professor Mallikarjunaiah and even Mr. Anant Prabhu, who is not here with us right now, he gave certain answers that here the formal education of these people does not come into picture. Here it is not this formal education, it is not helping them to commit those crimes. Rather, it is Mr. Anant Prabhu, he interestingly he cited that it is not the general formal education. Rather, it is the already available tools on the internet that helps them to commit these cyber crimes. Thereafter, we had another issue raised in this discussion, which was that even educated people fall in this honey trap of these cyber criminals. And even if they are so educated, even if they are IAS officers, even if they are very good administrators, even they fall into the honey traps of these cyber criminals. So what is the psychology behind these the giving away of these sensitive personal informations and data to those cyber criminals? So to this we had Dr. Divya, who is a psychologist. She is not here with us in this second session, but she gave the she talked about the psychology behind it, and she talked about the factors of emotions and greed that drive the individuals towards sharing their sensitive personal data. And also she talked about the emotion of fear and how these people, they are psychologically affected, even though they know that sharing their sensitive personal data is not beneficial for them. Even then, at that time, they come into this panic mode. And while they are in their panic mode, even Sir Mallikarjunaiah says he shared his own experience. Even all of us might have these similar experiences, and that we come into a panic mode and we end up sharing that. So this is the psychology behind these cyber crimes happening, and we contributing to it actually. And then the other question that was posed in this session was that how technology can find solutions, to which we ended this discussion after discussing about that, how technology can find solutions, to which Dr. Anand Prabhu, he very well pointed out that about the importance of apps like Truecallers, and he said that gamification is the key, to which Dr. Mallikarjunaiah, he added, and Balu sir also added that not only gamification is the key, rather we have to have a techno-legal regulation for the same. So even in the second session, we had a great deliberation about the techno-legal regulation part of it, and we started our second session along with this regulatory aspect, how to frame a regulatory aspect, how to frame a regulatory framework, that how this cyber crime and can be regulated. How should we as a part of the academia, and we as a part of the industry together come forward to educate our regulators to come with a framework. So here, Mr. Balu, he significantly pointed out that not only cyber crimes should be these cybercrimes should be reported, but they should also be acknowledged by these cybercrime units. And also very significantly, one recommendation was made about the cybercrime unit, the national cybercrime unit in this discussion. And here, Mr. Advocate Sai Teja, Mr. Balu, of course, Navi sir, and Dr. Dadich and Mallikarjunaiah sir, everybody, we all have agreed that there should be a national special crime unit, cybercrime unit, which should, and there should be special courts, as there are special courts for special matters. Like Dr. Dadich very rightly pointed out that there are special courts for special matters like family matters. Then there are special courts for EDs, and I would add, like, there are special courts for narcotics. So there should be special courts for this also. Dr. Mahendra Limaye, he also said that he knows of one court that is in Nagpur. So of course, I would agree to Mr. Navi's vision that if there is one special court regarding cyber matters in Nagpur, that framework should be shared in the other states also. And this vision is really good. And after that, we have also got certain suggestions regarding the legal requirements. That first, that we must pass on this responsibility. Dr. Mallikarjunaiah very rightly pointed out that we must pass on this responsibility of regulating on the cyber crimes, not only on the governments, but it should be passed on to the private organizations as well, as a part of their CSR responsibilities, corporate social responsibilities. Very well said, sir. And then, sir, there was sir from the banking sector. I'm just not able to recall his name. I'm really sorry. Sir said about that the bankers, they should have their own mechanism for recalling of the money, and to establish their own fraud investigation units in the banking sector also. So not only at the government level we are trying to bring a regulation, but also at the industry level by establishing a CSR responsibility, and further at the bank at the level of intermediaries like bankers, they should also have the responsibilities by establishing a cyber fraud investigation unit. And also, of course, about the from the contribution about the contribution by the legal fraternity, we talked about these special courts that we were talking about, special court dedicated to cyber units. So this was the key points that we took from our today's discussion. And of course, there can be much more that I can go on and on talking about it. It was a very, very informative session. It was very wonderful. And I hope that we continue, not only this institute continues towards talking about this issue, and towards telling our regulators to awaken and look forward towards this cybersecurity regime. So therefore, sir, Navi sir, this Jago Regulator Jago concept is a really, really noble vision in all of our opinion, and your call to awaken the regulators is a really wonderful step, and we all agree to your vision. Yes. To this note, we come to an end of this session, and for that, I would request one of our students, Ms. Devyani. She would present the saplings to sir, and then I would thank everyone. I would request Devyani to hand over the sapling to Mr. Dadich, who would hand over the sapling to Mr. Navi. Sir.
And my special thanks to Mr. Ramesh and Manju, because I drove them hard to take the responsibility for conducting this as a prelude to our next seminar, which is the sole responsibility of Mr. Ramesh Venkatraman. Okay, thank you.
I would request Manju ma'am to hand over the sapling, to present the sapling to Mr. Dr. Mallikarjunaiya. Now I would request Ramesh sir to present the sapling as a token of gratitude to Dr. Balu. Thank you, sir. Now, Divyan. Yeah. Of course, as a token of gratitude, Dr. Dadish is also to be appreciated. Thank you. To this, we come to the end of a session, and as a team, I would like to thank our entire team, the entire MLS team, the entire KLE, and yes. So I would hand over the mic to Dr. Avinash.
So we need to thank Dr. Tulika. I think such a hard work. And Revti, I think Tulika as a leader, she really guided Revti, and with their hard work, this program is really go to the next level. Tulika, thank you very much. Okay. Revti, thank you. And thank you. Good to see you, Sai.
Thank you very much, sir. Very pleasure seeing you all. Yeah.
See you in Bangalore sometime.
Definitely. Whenever I'm in Bangalore, I'll see you.
So, yeah, so
yeah,
we will be very some time.
I'm
and
not
visit.
able to hear. Yeah, I'm not able to hear. There's some echo coming in the back.
Okay. So.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Let me thank everyone. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining this session.